Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Zoning Board of Appeals. I'd like to brief you on some of our rules and procedures used during our hearings. When a hearing number is called, the applicant or representative will come to the podium. If they are not an attorney, they will be sworn in by our executive secretary. They will then present their case. Where was I? The board members may or may not ask questions of the applicant. Prior to tonight's hearing, board members have visited most or all of the properties listed on tonight's calendar. At the conclusion of the applicant's presentation, we will ask if there are any interested parties who would like to speak either for or against the application. We will then allow the applicant to come back and give some brief rebuttal remarks to address any concerns of the interested parties. At that point, the public hearing will be closed. The stenographer can only take one person's testimony at a time, so we ask that you do not call out from the audience during testimony. We will give everyone an opportunity to be heard this evening. Sometimes proceedings do not end until 1 a.m. or later, but everyone will be heard. Lastly, at approximately 9 p.m., our stenographer will have been typing for about 2 hours, and we will take a 10-minute break. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any postponements tonight?
We have no postponements tonight.
Okay, let's call the first hearing.
First hearing is hearing one, Appeal 2695, Robert Beltry at 680 Central Avenue, Massapequa.
I do. Salvatore Koshia, permits are us, 338 Jericho Turnpike, Syosset, New York, 11791. Good evening, Madam Chairwoman, members of the board. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Veltri, who resides at 680 Central Avenue, Massapequa. Property is located in R17 zone. Proposed to maintain a shed, gazebo, and hot tub with a front yard setback of 28.5 feet, shed and gazebo at, front yard setback of 28.5 feet to the shed, and the gazebo 33.5 to the shed, where the total required frontage is 50 feet. So they both don't comply by 17.5 on one and 22.5 on the other. The gazebo and shed also have a side yard setback of 1.6 feet, where 3 feet is required. Client purchased the home 2016. The shed was there prior to him purchasing it. The hot tub and gazebo have been there for approximately 6 years. He has spoken to his neighbors, including the one directly affected next to him, and he stated he has no objection.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Nope, I'd seen, I was too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was to the end, it's fine.
Anybody wishing to be heard on this application? Correspondence? Motion?
Decision.
The public hearing is closed, and the decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing two, Appeal 2698, LNS Massapequa Partners LLC at 16 Brooklyn Avenue, Massapequa, New York. What is this?
Good evening, Madam Chairwoman, members of the board. My name is Greg Alvarez from Amato Law Group, 666 Old Country Road, Garden City, New York. We're here this evening in connection with LS Massapequa Partners LLC, that's seeking approval for a new storage facility that's located at 14-20 Brooklyn Avenue in Massapequa, Section 52, Block 251, lots 1647 and 1664. The variances that we're asking for are all related. It all relates to the building that's being proposed. The first one we're asking for is maximum lot coverage. 50% is permitted in the LI zone, and we're proposing 60.5%. We're also asking for both front yard and setback relief, where 50 feet is required in the front, 30 feet in the back, and we're proposing 6 feet on either side. And then we're also asking for building height. We're not asking for the actual height itself. That's a 50-foot requirement. We're actually below that. We're asking for the number of stories. So 3 is permitted. We're asking for 4. And that a lot is very much related to the storage building itself. The floors are not quite as high, and so that's sort of the disconnect, I think, involves. But we're meeting the actual absolute height. We're just asking for stories. And then finally, we're asking for a parking variance. The calculation under the town code is for 26 parking spaces, and we are providing 16. All of them, as I said, are interrelated, and it's really three key aspects that I'm going to talk about in relation to the application. The first is the shape and size of the property. It is a long, narrow property. It's actually undersized, which is a pre-existing condition, and that has dictated a lot of the design aspects of this application. Second piece I'd like to point out are the existing surrounding development patterns. This is an industrial corridor along Brooklyn Avenue, and so those existing conditions are certainly appropriate for this particular use. In fact, the use is permitted as right. And then finally, I'd like to point out just that the requirements of the storage industry itself dictate a need for building of this nature. The density in units are often dictated, as in this case, by the feasibility that is involved and the scale that's involved to make these sorts of projects feasible. So that's really the basis for our request. Just like to point out that we do have other approvals that have been granted already. We have site plan approval already from the Department of Planning and Development. We have lifted our covenants that were in place for the underlying uses from the town board that was issued by Resolution 319-2026 in May of this year. And then also we have a recommendation from the Department of Environmental Resources that recommends a negative declaration under TECRA and SECRA. So again, the property itself, south side of Brooklyn Avenue, long, narrow property, and we are in the LI zone. What we're specifically proposing is removing the existing three structures that are there. They're one-story light industrial structures, and to replace it with the new modern building that we're proposing tonight. And so with that, I'd just like to say that we do have a number of experts here today to provide further details. And I'll take certainly at the direction of the board whether or not you'd like direct testimony, or I can submit some reports into the record in terms of their testimony. In short, the first submission I'd like to submit is actually from our office, and it covers all of the details in terms of our proofs under both town law, New York State town law, and also the town code in terms of the criteria that's required for area variances. So this time I'd like to submit that report into the record. It's supplementary. We do have one in the record already, but this has a little bit more information. So I'd just like to submit that, and it covers
pass it
our
over here,
overall,
please.
the details of our arguments.
Thank you.
Okay, so the folks I have here tonight, I have four folks, and they could speak for as little or as much as you'd like. But I've asked them to at least have a few remarks, if that would be appropriate at this time. We have William Von Fricken from Frank G. Ralph Architect, who would speak to the architectural aspects of the building itself. We have Anthony Snackinelli from Phronesis Engineering, who could speak to the site conditions that have resulted in the design that we have for you tonight. We also have Joshua Herman from Stonefield Engineering, who can speak to the traffic aspects of the proposal. As we know, storage is a very low generating traffic use, but he can certainly speak to that as well. And he has actually, at this time, I'd like to submit his updated report, which is essentially the same that's already been submitted in the record. All that we've really updated is that the ITE changed, and so the calculation had to be redone. And in fact, the numbers are exactly the same in terms of the traffic generation, very low. But I'd like to submit that into the record to make sure we have that accuracy. Okay. Oh, sure. And then finally tonight, we do have Mike Lynch from Lynch Appraisal, a real estate appraiser who has investigated the property, investigated the surroundings, and has also prepared a report to summarize his findings that, in conclusion, the variances will not have a negative impact on the surrounding area. And so at this time, I'd also like to submit his report into the record, which reflects that. It's dated June 8th, and it's from Mr. Lynch. So at this time, I'd like to submit that into the record. Okay, so with that, I again, will take any sort of direction from the board. If you'd like, I could have Mr. Von Fricken begin with a presentation about the building and just the general aspects of the proposal.
I
if
just have a
that's
question before you start.
Sure.
The buildings that are being removed, can you speak a little bit about what the uses were of those buildings?
Yes, variety of light industrial uses. I believe one is a car detailing shop, if I'm correct. And then the next one is a, I think, plumbing and heating supply
So they're
business.
gone, they're gonna be gone?
All of
They're
the
out.
businesses that are there would be gone, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. So there are active businesses there now, generating traffic and,
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
yes, yeah, exactly,
thank you.
yes.
I just have one question.
Sure.
How high is each story going to be?
Each story, let me make sure we get this right from the architect. 11 feet? Oh, it'd be 11 feet,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Okay, anybody else before the experts speak?
So that's 44 feet when the zoning is 50.
44 feet in total. I think with the parapet, it gets a little bit closer to 48, 49 feet.
But it's under the 50.
It is under the 50, that's correct.
Okay.
Good. All right,
Yeah, we'll hear from your traffic expert. That be okay? Oh, you want the architect, okay.
okay, yes, okay, so if Mr. Von Fricken could step forward, if you could just say a few words, and first introduce yourself, and then if you could just say a few words about the building and, I guess, the overall operation that we're proposing
Mr.
here.
Alvarez, is he an attorney?
He is not an
I'm
attorney,
gonna
so I'll have to be
swear
sworn
you
in.
Please. Hi, sir.
You do.
Would you raise your right hand, please? Promise to tell the truth during these proceedings?
I do.
Thank you. Name and address, please.
William Von Fricken, and I'm representing Frank Rolf Architect. We're located at 35 Pine Lawn Road, Suite 207 West.
Thank you, sir.
We are local architects. We specialize in self-storage over 35 years. We are proposing the building, as Greg has stated, it's a 4-story self-storage building, state-of-the-art building. It's roughly around 87,000 square feet. It's all climate controlled. It's going to be fully surveillanced. It's going to have fully sprinklered. It's going to be, have 24-hour DVR backup. The building itself, as Greg had stated, has already been reviewed and discussed with planning. So the orientation of the building has been designed in accordance of that as well, and to take in consideration of the access of the site. So we have 3 main access points of the site. That is all off-street, so there's no additional traffic or congestion on the street itself. As stated, the building itself will have 4 stories. The ground floor will have an office space. Typically, the office will be fully manned by 1 manager, and we'll have a part-time manager. The hours of access will be consistent with typical industry and other self-storage facilities in the area. We use the safeguard off of Old Country Road as precedent. So the hours typically are 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, and 10 to 5, Saturday through Sunday. We do not have a select operator yet, so those hours may be slightly modified. Again, this is consistent with a precedent study, the safeguard off of Old Country Road in Pine Lawn. Plainview, sorry. The building will be equipped with 2 elevators, so it will have 2 elevators and 2 stair access points. It would be fully code compliant, ADA compliant. We designed the building with respect to the fabric of the area, so it's more of a cool tone. We don't have any vibrant colors, which you would commonly see if you were in the metropolitan areas. We created some renderings that we had presented, which we feel is, thank you, that will fit nicely in the area. Again, there's no vibrant colors. This is more of a white and gray color palette. It will be constructed with insulated metal panels, we call them IPs, and brick finish facade.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions in regards to the building or operations?
The hours of operation. So you know when anybody comes and what time they leave?
Correct.
So nobody can be there after the hours of operation, or else we'll have a lot.
There will be, the site access typically is 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily. There is a key card access or punch code access to get in. And as I previously stated, everything is monitored and backed up on DVR. So everything is safe and secure. There is a camera to every access point of the building.
Okay,
So
so
if
I
somebody
can-
was there after hours, you would know.
Correct.
okay.
Anybody else? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I think you had mentioned that you wanted to hear from our traffic expert, if I'm not
Quickly,
mistaken.
but yes, I think that the community would want to hear that, because I think
Yep.
there is some concern about traffic, so yes.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to ask Joshua Herman to step forward and to provide you some details of the report I just submitted earlier.
Hi, sir, can I swear you in? Promise to tell the truth during these proceedings?
Yes, I
Your
do.
name and address, please.
Joshua Herman. I'm a traffic engineer with Stonefield Engineering, 584 Broadway, Suite 310, New York, New York.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the time. My team, we prepared a traffic report for the proposed use. Self-storage is actually one of the lowest traffic generators. So for a facility of this size, the peak during the highest maximum hour, we would expect up to 15 cars total in and out of the site, and that's during the peak hours. So that would, that's equivalent to 1 car every 4 minutes. So it's really not an intensive traffic use. And, we would not expect that the traffic associated with this development would impact the surrounding roadways. In terms of parking, the parking requirement is, the parking requirement is for 26 spaces. The site would provide a total of 16 spaces, and based on ITE data, this proposed facility would expect a peak demand of 9 vehicles. So the 16 spaces that are proposed would be sufficient to accommodate the parking demand of the site. And I'm happy to take any questions from any of the board members.
I have none.
I
Anybody?
have nothing else.
You just have one employee there at all times?
I believe there are 1 or 2.
One or two.
One
One
or
or
two?
Yeah, a couple of employees at any given time.
Generally, 1 or 2.
Yeah,
And then the rest would be just coming and going, people coming?
Yeah, to store whatever
What would you say
they're
the
storing.
average amount of cars would be there at one time?
The peak that we're thinking is 9 vehicles on the site.
it's not a heavily trafficked block. I'm
No.
familiar with the block. There's 2 auto collision shops there, so people basically go there to drop off their car and then 5 days later pick it up, that type of thing. So, yeah, I know it's not a heavily, even on the street, there's a lot of street parking.
Correct. There's a lot of street parking, but
Yeah.
again, there's,
Yeah.
would provide, sufficient parking for the peak demand.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, as mentioned, I do have a few more folks that could answer any questions. We have our civil engineer, and we also have Mr. Lynch who can answer questions, but I leave that to you in terms of whether or not you'd like to
Yeah,
hear further testimony.
I think we've heard it enough, and I think we maybe have some people in the audience that want to speak, and if they do, then I will ask you to come back up when they're done.
Okay.
That'd be
If
fair.
I may, actually, just thinking about it, if I may, could I have Mr. Lynch to speak just a
Sure, of
moment?
course.
Just to kind of wrap things up, I'd
Yes.
appreciate it. All right, Mr. Lynch, if you could step forward.
You came all the way here, Mr. Lynch.
Promise to tell the truth during these proceedings?
Yes,
Your name and address, please.
yes. Good evening. It's Michael Lynch at 15 Dewey Street, Huntington, New York. Here is the real estate expert on this matter. Good evening, Madam Chairwoman, members of the board. I was engaged to prepare a study with respect to real estate impact, character of the neighborhood, et cetera. I prepared the consulting report that Mr. Alvarez submitted. So, as discussed, this is an older industrial corridor in the hamlet of Massapequa. The building itself is pre-existing. It's approximately 36,000 square feet. It's only 100 feet deep, but there's 3 older industrial buildings on the site, plus 2 parking lots. The buildings are, I think, 1 or 2 of them are in use for automotive type. And then there's a plumbing supply use, I believe, on the, so, but it's not an attractive property as it is. It's devoid of any landscaping. It backs to a Town of Oyster Bay buffer, and then you have the railroad immediately to the south of that 100-foot deep buffer. Across the street are other similar older buildings, And the setback relief that we're seeking, which is 6 feet, is actually an improvement over a good portion of the existing buildings, some of which have a 0-foot setback. Diagonally across, you have a LIPA substation. To the northwest, on the other side of Seaford Avenue, you've got a Massapequa substation and a monopole telecommunications tower. Overall, you know, the requested relief, which includes a 10% variance for storage, for lot coverage, is not significant. It's not substantial in my mind. These, I'm not the traffic expert, but just in my experience, these self-storage units make good neighbors with respect to very little traffic versus what could be done as of right, such as a warehouse and distribution type center on this. These self-storage facilities, again, are very quiet. I have personal experience utilizing them over the years. And as was noted, it's a similar application that was recently approved on Old Country Road in Plainview. There's other more recent sites that I looked at. Similar type surrounding makeup. The nearest homes to this are to the north of Brooklyn on New York Avenue. But overall, I think it's an excellent redevelopment of the site. It won't adversely impact property values. It's not out of character with, you know, the up and down this industrial corridor. So for those reasons, I feel the application is sound, and I think it should be approved.
So you feel that it would not impact real estate value?
Absolutely not. Again, given what's there, which is unsightly, older 1950s commercial, industrial-type buildings in use for various more onerous uses than what is proposed here. Again, my experience with these self-storages are very quiet, and they make good neighbors.
Okay, thank you.
So, thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Mr. Lynch.
Thank you.
Okay, so at this time, our initial presentation concludes.
Okay.
And we'll open it up for any
Well,
questions.
we'll see.
Okay, thank
Anybody
you.
wishing to be heard on this application, come on up and be sworn in, please.
My name is,
Could you just raise your right hand first?
oh, sure,
Promise to tell the truth during these proceedings?
absolutely.
Yes, and your name and address, please, sir.
Patrick Dolan, 60 Flower Hill Road, Huntington.
Thank you, sir.
This is a very good presentation. It's really laid out very well. I happen to agree that a storage facility is a good neighbor, but not on Brooklyn Avenue.
I'm sorry?
Not on Brooklyn Avenue. The problem is, and I can speak personally to this, I've been on Brooklyn Avenue for 45 years. I'm also.
So you run a business there?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I'm also coincidentally, it's my 45th year as a licensed master plumber in town of Oyster Bay. Brooklyn Avenue is lined both sides parking, 100% of the time, from 7 o'clock in the morning until about 5:30 at night. There is no off-street parking available. One of the lots that's going to be combined for this variance has a bunch of landscapers that park, which is in accordance with the town requirements, so you have to park commercial vehicles off. So you cannot take away additional parking. I know that their variance for their building only calls for a certain amount of it, but it's going to impact it. At the end of the block is a Massapequa Fire Department maintenance facility, and it covers both sides of the end of Brooklyn Avenue against the Tacapusha Park. When they want to bring a fire truck down Brooklyn Avenue, they're the only people that can get through Brooklyn Avenue because they realize that the cars that are being worked on in the street, double parked, you don't have free access. I don't drive a commercial vehicle as an owner, so I go up and I go down, New York Avenue, as do many people. So you're redirecting the traffic because you cannot get through on Brooklyn Avenue. I don't dispute their numbers. I don't think that anything is the matter with their plan, but they're not taking into consideration that you've got cars parked both sides. This becomes a one-lane road from 7 o'clock in the morning until 5:30 at night. As far as taking away parking is concerned, it's probably about once a week, and I'm under oath, once a week that I have to call the precinct to have people move their cars from my driveways because they don't have a place to park. So and these are not people that are dropping off or picking up something from a local business. These are people who work on Brooklyn Avenue. They work in the body shops, they work in the clothing retail stores. Not the retail, it's the wholesale clothing store there. These are people that live and work in the town of Oyster Bay, and they are happy in terms of finding off-street parking on Brooklyn Avenue. So when you have a congestion that's not reflected in this plan, your traffic expert's great. I don't doubt them, I don't dispute them. They're all professionals. They're a terrific law firm. I have nothing to do with that, and I'd love to see a building, but not like this because of the effect on Brooklyn Avenue. It is ridiculous at this point right now. So if you take away more parking, and you have people parking in front of their storage facilities, now there's at least 2 off-site parking that you're going to lose when you do this building. Now, I'm not the landscaper, so I don't have the big trucks with the trailers. I have my own off-street parking. I'm not affected by this variance one way or the other. But I live and work on Brooklyn Avenue. And when you have 2 cars parked on both sides and you have somebody in a U-Haul trailer who wants to come and unload into one of these storage facilities, that's the end of the traffic on Brooklyn Avenue. So my objection is not to, storage facility. It's not to their presentation. I'm not telling you that they're trying to delude you or anything else like that. I'm giving you 45 years of truth about Brooklyn Avenue. The only time you can drive up and down Brooklyn Avenue right now is in a recession. That's it. That's the only time that you can actually drive up and down this street. And the reason why is because it is in the western side of Massapequa, and you folks know there's nothing else there. There's nothing else there. So my objection is based on the fact that it's going to confuse the issue. It's going to be a problem with the off-street parking, the landscapers and their the 2-section trucks with their trailers. I don't know where they're going to go, but that's not my problem. My problem is giving you an accurate reflection of what exists on Brooklyn Avenue right now and how
Where is your
adversely
business-
it's going to be
Where is your
affected.
business located? What is your
My
address?
business is located
What's the address?
number 2 and number 4 Brooklyn Avenue.
Okay, so you're closer to the fire department, correct?
Yes, I am, but I also
This is
own,
at the other end, okay.
I also own number 43 and 45 Brooklyn Avenue, which is a
Okay.
little bit further down on the left-hand side. And those are my off-street parking facilities for my plumber's trucks. And, I mean, I have to call the precinct to get access to my building. So I don't agree with it, and I hope that you take that into consideration, because that is the truth about Brooklyn Avenue.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next.
Hi, I just swear you in, raise your right hand. Promise to tell the truth during these proceedings.
I do.
Your name and address, please.
James Kugler, 14 New York Avenue, Massapequa.
Thank you, sir.
I have a few issues. The first is, in the variance, it lists 14 to 20 New York Avenue. Brooklyn Avenue. 14 Brooklyn Avenue is owned by the Massapequa Fire District and is not part of this, or is it from that point on?
The attorney will speak to that when he comes back up, so
Oh.
I won't answer it now, but it will be answered.
Okay, because like I said, it says from 14 to.
He'll answer that.
And I checked that out. It's not, it's their property and their building.
Okay.
So I don't know what the third building they're including in this. I'll have to agree with Mr. Dolan. I've lived on New York Avenue, the first house around the corner, for 38 years. The parking is a problem. I don't dispute the traffic guy for what he's reporting, although there's a lot of things he hasn't reported, the problems on Brooklyn Avenue. The drag racing, for one. And I'm not totally opposed to a storage unit, as it would probably be a lot quieter than what's there now. However, I do question why 4 stories and not what the town code calls for. And obviously, it's for a profitable reason.
Can I answer that?
Excuse me?
Can I answer that?
Yes.
I'm going to answer because the attorney spoke on that subject. those stories, it's not a residential building, so they don't need to be as high as a residential building, but the building itself meets the height requirements of the LI zone.
Okay, he said 48 to 49 feet. Which is it?
You mean the height?
Yeah,
Well,
we going
he
on,
said
it's,
each floor would be
you know, that
11.
turns into 52 when the building starts and nobody measures
It's
it.
not, they're gonna measure it, trust me, it's not gonna go over 50 feet because our building department would stop it.
Because on the other side of Brooklyn Avenue, where I live, and the residents, I mean, we're gonna look up to a 5-story,
But,
with
so
50
you
feet, a
know,
5-story
as per the
building.
town code, in the LI zone, you can build a 50-foot-high building without coming to us.
Okay.
They're coming to us because they'd like to put 4 stories in that 50 feet, because they don't need the height that a residential building would need. It's a storage unit, so they can make it, the floors a little shorter.
Okay, so that really doesn't come into the variance then?
No,
Okay,
they're not looking for height.
okay. So you're really concerned about the square footage and taking away the parking?
They're here for parking and, yeah, and for certain, for front yard and rear yard, they can't meet the
And
requirement.
as Mr. Dolan mentioned, which is a problem, the existing parking not only comes on to Brooklyn Avenue, it comes on to Seaford Avenue, and it comes on to New York Avenue, because these people have no place else to park. So if you take away this building, and they can't park in front of that,
Well, it seems to me that these businesses are gonna be gone, so if they're gonna,
Two
they're
of-
not
two of
moving.
them.
All right, well, they're gonna be gone, so they and their commercial vehicles are gonna be out of there.
well, one of them is the empty lot with the landscapers. The other one, the other one isn't, I mean, they have employees, but again, 16 Brooklyn only has parking for street, because next to 16 is the rented lot for the landscapers. So it's not like the people who work at 16 can park anywhere but on the street. So that
Sir,
building,
If you look up on the screen, you see the 3 buildings.
yes,
they
that
take
building
down.
will be gone. But again, I question 14 is not going anywhere. So is this 2 buildings they're getting rid of, or 3?
3 buildings. See the 3 buildings on the screen?
Okay,
So starting with 16 and then moving east.
okay, it's starting at 16. On the variance, it says 14. It says
16 on
14 to
our-
20.
our
Well,
paper.
we have 16 on
We have
our.
16.
Mine says 14.
Okay, well, we'll let the
We'll
lawyers
address
speak, the attorneys.
And the town zoning board is okay with the height?
It's not up to the
They're
zoning
not
board.
asking
They're
us
not
for
asking
height.
height.
Once
It's
again,
fine.
they're asking us.
Okay, it's on, again, it's on the variance.
No, what's on the variance is 4 stories. So when you see 4 stories, you think, oh my God, a 4-story.
Exceeding maximum building coverage and number of stories,
Right,
Yes.
then
But
permitted
not
by the
height.
ordinance.
but not height.
Okay,
They're making the stories
They're
much
putting
shorter.
4 stories into 50 feet.
instead of,
50
instead of
feet is the
squeezing
limit.
5 stories into 50 feet.
If they could, they probably would. They would probably try.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Alvarez?
All right, thank you. Yes, we'd like to address the comments from the 2 gentlemen. So, I guess from the first gentleman regarding the parking. So, what we'd like to say there are a couple of things. I'm going to ask my engineer to come up just to describe the actual layout. But the first thing is that the attempt here is to actually improve the situation that currently is out there. I believe there are 5 curb cuts that make up the entirety of the property. Parking is variable, largely because of that. We're actually going to be putting in curbings, and there are only going to be 2 designated driveways along that whole
So
frontage.
you're closing up 3 driveways?
That's correct.
Good, so that gives more street parking.
That's absolutely correct as well. The other answer we'd like to make is that the intention fully is to make sure that everything is contained on site. Our traffic engineer has confirmed that through his study as well, that even at the peak time, it's going to be able to accommodate everything on site. And then also, we do have 2 loading areas on the site that will be able to accommodate that. And if I could ask Mr. Stankinelli just to come up to describe it in a little bit more detail, maybe that'll answer those questions as well.
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
When you had these planning advisory board hearing, were any of the neighbors there at that hearing?
We did not have a planning advisory board hearing. We were not required to do that.
Okay.
We were
I'm
approved
sorry, I thought you
administratively.
did, I apologize.
No
I thought
worries,
you
no
did.
worries. All right, Mr. Stankinelli, if you could just step up and we'll find your site plan. Get it up here.
I'm just gonna swear you in, sir. Promise to tell the truth during these proceedings.
I do.
Your name and address, please.
Anthony Stankinelli, work for Phronesis Engineering, offices at Islandia, in Islandia, New York.
The address?
Oh, I'm sorry, 1601 Veterans Memorial Highway.
Thank you.
So, just to go back, the original site has 3 buildings. These buildings are garages, offices, multiple uses. The amount of traffic generated for these uses is, in my opinion, going to be greater than the amount of traffic that's going to come to the storage facility. Also, along Brooklyn Avenue, these 3 uses have fully depressed curbs, meaning you can't park in front of these buildings right now. They all have open driveways in and out. What we're doing is closing that huge depressed curb along almost 300 feet of Brooklyn Avenue, where you can't park because it's open driveway. And we're limiting it to maybe 25-foot wide driveway aprons. All the parking for the use is going to be within the site. We don't need any parking along Brooklyn Avenue. So the parking that is needed on Brooklyn Avenue now for the existing uses will no longer exist. Everything will be contained on site. We have internal loading. People could come in, drive into the building to unload along the east side of the building. They also have a loading dock option on the west side of the building where they could come in, back in, and unload, along with all the necessary parking on site. So this is actually a benefit to Brooklyn Avenue, benefit to the community. We're actually cleaning it up. I'm here for any questions.
So to be clear, you're gonna go from approximately 300 foot of open curb to approximately 50 foot, 225-foot driveways.
225-foot one-way driveways and one 28 to 30-foot two-way driveway. We have a one-way driveway so that
So you got
when you're loading.
75, 80 as opposed to 300 now.
Correct. Yeah, so we're going to increase street parking for
Right.
others, we don't need it, and contain all our parking and loading on site.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And actually, before you go, I'd just like to address one of the questions from the second gentleman regarding the height of the building. If you could take us through the description there, or if you think Mr. Von Fricken would be more appropriate for that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. All right, thank you.
Probably.
All right, we'll bring it. All right, thank you. Just one more thing on the parking as well. The other thing to keep in mind is that we do have the existing businesses that are there. With the turnover to the new business that will have 1 or 2 employees there at a time, that eliminates a number of employees that are there on a regular basis, on a daily basis, that won't be there moving forward. So we're hoping as well that that will also improve the parking situation. All right. Yes, at this time, I would ask my architect to come right back up just to answer the question. And I apologize, I should have been more specific and more systematic to outline the actual height, but we'll ask Mr. Von Fricken to talk about that.
Hello again. So in regards to the floor heights, they're 11 foot. The upper floor, there's a pitch to it. We are proposing the maximum parapet height to be at 49 foot. That would be concealing all rooftop equipment too, because we know that is commonly expressed that nobody wants to
So there won't be
see.
any air conditioning units or anything?
That would be
No
concealed by the
antennas?
parapets. So that's the reason why the parapet height is.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, we would cut it down lower if that's would be
So
required.
you're gonna, so we're gonna say on the record, it is gonna be 49 feet?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So we're below the 50
So
foot
you're
maximum
below.
height.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and then just finally as to the address question. So, full disclosure, we had some issues as well because the information is variable in terms of what the actual addresses for those buildings are. I think in the end, we were trying to be more inclusive as opposed to not. Whether or not the Massapequa Fire Department's building is 14, honestly, that could be, but you know, if that is the case, certainly we consent to any sort of amendment that it would cover 16 and 20. But in the end, we wanted to make sure that everything was covered, and in the end, we're going to have a new address anyway that will cover the entire property. So in any event, what we are presenting on the plans are the lots, the tax lots that comprise the application, which are 1647 to 1664, and that is the extent of the proposal. And it's all reflected on the plans, all reflected in the materials. And so I hope that answers the question. Again, there was just a little confusion perhaps on our part.
You'll be hearing from the Massapequa Fire Department, trying to take their building down.
Right, we don't want to do that, so. And I think with that, I believe those were the questions from the gentleman, but if there are any other questions, we could certainly answer those.
I don't have anybody else?
No, the tax lots were 14, 15, 16?
I didn't write them down.
Okay, 14, 15.
1647 to 1664.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that took some work as well, because they're very narrow lots across that entire block.
Okay, thank you.
So I just have a piece of correspondence that I'm going to read into the record.
Sure.
Before we close the hearing? Okay. So this is written to the Town of Oyster Bay Zoning Board of Appeals. I am writing as a nearby homeowner to strongly oppose the requested area variance for the proposed storage facility at 14 through 20 Brooklyn Avenue. My property is located at 11A New York Avenue, just one house off the corner of New York Avenue and Seaford Avenue, roughly 1 block away from the development site. While I understand that this specific block sits adjacent to the train tracks, a facility of this size and scope will cause a direct negative spillover effect onto our immediate residential streets. My specific objections and proposed restrictions are detailed below. Massive, incompatible scale. Even with its location near the train tracks, a 4-story commercial storage facility is entirely out of character for this area. It will stand as a towering, obtrusive structure that visually dominates the landscape. I respectfully ask the board to restrict this development to a maximum of 2 stories and adhere to building coverage allowed. By the town ordinance, to ensure it remains visibly compatible with the surrounding residential neighborhood. Overflow street parking concerns. A major issue for nearby residents is the inevitable influx of vehicles parking on local residential streets. Customers and commercial vehicles utilizing this facility will likely look for overflow parking after the 16 available spaces are filled on surrounding roads like New York Avenue and Seaford Avenue. Our residential streets cannot support extra commercial vehicle traffic or long-term parking, which will block sight lines and choke traffic near our homes. Safety concerns from a 24-hour operation. Operating 24 hours a day introduces significant safety and security risk just a single block from residential doorsteps. Constant nighttime activity, late-night traffic, and unmonitored foot traffic on our local streets during overnight hours will compromise the safety and peace of mind of local families. I strongly urge the board to mandate strict operational hours of 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. to preserve neighborhood security. Traffic and congestion hazards. A facility of this size will generate commercial truck traffic and loading congestion. This creates immediate roadway safety risks for neighboring children, commuters using transit, and pedestrians navigating the area. The requested variances represent a substantial detriment to nearby properties and will alter the essential character of our neighborhood. If the board chooses not to deny the application entirely, I ask that these essential conditions, limiting the height to 2 stories and capping operating hours from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and require on-site parking enforcement be strictly imposed. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Joan Walsh. Any other correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision.
The public hearing is closed, and the decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Ooh, I need a break after that.
Hearing 3, Appeal 26-132, Angelo Sedita at 58 Springdale Avenue, Massapequa.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a better use than what's there. That's an improvement.
It definitely is.
Wow, there were all of those people here?
Oh, it's comfy.
So cold. I apologize if anybody's freezing out
Open
there.
the doors, maybe, do you think would help?
If they leave the doors open, it might
Michael,
help.
would you go ask the guard to leave the doors open and maybe the outside door too and let some warm air in?
I'm comfortable on a
Do
glacier.
you want a sweater?
Thanks, Nick.
It matches your outfit. Oh, that's right, she's an ice
I
cream.
don't know that this person is here.
What?
Should we call again? I don't know if this person is here.
Oh, okay, I'll call one more, should I call one more time, just to make sure?
Yeah, please.
Hearing 3, Appeal 26-132, Angelo Sedita at 58 Springdale Avenue, Massapequa. That's okay, we'll go to second call later. We'll go to hearing 4, Appeal 26-156, Matthew Underwood at 72 Ripplewater Avenue, Massapequa.
Prompts no truth in these proceedings?
I do.
Name and address, please.
Robert Schumacher, 6 Denton Place, Farmingdale, New York. We got half the room cleared out. I'm representing Mr. Underwood of 72 Water Avenue, Massapequa. I just passed up.
Can you just wait
Sure.
1 second? Sir, in the back, what number are you?
14, I looked at the wrong.
Okay.
I glanced down.
Okay. Because we were missing number 3, I thought you were him. Okay. I'm sorry, Mr.
That's okay. I passed up some photos and consent letters for the board. The homeowners are seeking a variance for a front roof over modification, not having the average front yard setback, and a 2-story addition, not having the required side yard setback, and to maintain a shed not having the required side yard setback, exceeding the lot coverage and gross floor area, and to maintain pool equipment not having the required side yard setback. This application is for a proposed second-floor addition, and it would be going directly over the garage and maintaining the existing side yard setback and not further encroaching. In regard to the front yard setback, the addition would not come out any closer to the street than the existing house. This would balance out the look of the house from the front. There are large shrubs in between the properties. The shed is behind a fence along with the pool equipment. There's also large shrubs on that side of the property. The lot coverage is only over by 2.08%. The homeowners have the support of his 2 abutting neighbors at 76 and 68 Ripplewater Avenue, and they have signed consent letters, and also all the neighbors directly across the street at 69, 73, 77, 81, and 83 Ripplewater Avenue. And also the neighbors directly across the canal at 59, 53, and 51 Stillwater Avenue. This proposed addition would not be out of character this area, Massapequa. A lot of thought and planning went into this proposed addition. As the photos show, the house is in excellent condition and has always been well-maintained, and there's never been any complaints or violations from the town on this property.
You good with this one?
Yeah, I'm fine with this.
Anybody have any questions? Anybody wishing to be heard on this application? Correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision.
The public hearing is closed, and the decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office.
Thank you.
Hearing 5, Appeal 26-94, Andrew Catalano at 552 North Oak Street, North Massapequa.
Still under oath, Sal.
Yes. Hello again. Permits are us, Salvatore Crucia, 338 Jericho Turnpike, Syosset, New York, 11791. Good evening again. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Catalano, who resides at 552 North Oak in Massapequa. Property is located in R17 zone. He's proposing to maintain a shed attached to the dwelling with a side yard setback of 2.8 feet where 8 feet is required, and an aggregate of 8.1 where 20 feet is required. He's also maintaining swimming pool equipment with a side yard setback of 2 feet where 5 feet is required. Mr. Catalano purchased a home a few years back. The shed, all these items existed prior to. He's spoken to the neighbors directly affected on one side. They have no objection. The other side of his property is Nassau County Public Parks, so there's no objection on that side. And other than that, that's it. Unless you have any questions.
Anybody have any questions?
No, I was to the property, and my question was, did you speak to the neighbor?
The neighbor directly affected
Yeah.
with the shed, yes, he
Okay,
has no
great,
objection.
thank you.
Anybody wishing to be heard on this application? Correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision.
Public hearing is closed. Decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office.
Thank you.
Hearing 6, Appeal 26-125, Stephen Terrassi at 236 North Pine Street, North Massapequa. Oh.
tell the truth during these proceedings?
Yes, I do.
Name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Dean Katsubis. My address is 121 Newbridge Road, Hicksville, New York, 11801. Good evening, members of the board. I'm here on behalf of the Mr. and Mrs. Taurasi of 236 North Pine Street in Massapequa. We are asking for two variances in connection with a proposed rear addition and second-story addition. The first variance we're asking for is a 6.4 side yard where the requirement is 8 feet. So that's a difference of 1.6 feet on the side yard. With regards to the side yard, I'd like to just point out that that is the existing side yard. So we are building in line with the existing house, and we're not further encroaching any more than the house already exists. So we're building the rear addition. And then the second part of this variance is the roof pitch variance. So this second story will also have the rear addition will also have a second story, which ties into the existing two-story house. And being that it's not a new construction second story and it's not a full second story, the front will remain and portions of the second floor will remain. So we're in order to tie in one roof to the other, we are asking for the roof pitch variance. So instead of 6 and 12, which is code, we're asking for 3 and 12. Those are the only two variances on this house: lot coverage, gross floor area. All the other setbacks comply, and that concludes my presentation.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Yes. Okay.
See separate paperwork for selling entrance?
That
Yeah.
was the question. He doesn't know that.
Okay.
Tell us about the cellar entrance.
Okay, well, I mean, it's here, and I do see the floor plan for the cellar. There, if you turn to page A100, there is a cellar entrance on the plan. There's a basement. They're showing a half-finished basement, boiler room on one end, and the other end is just an open space. It's not showing any bathrooms or anything like that. So other than the boiler part, it's just one big open space. So
So there's a cellar entrance that's proposed, it just doesn't need a variance, or it's already existing?
it says that it's existing. I'm not clear if it has a CO or not, being that it says see separate paperwork, and there's probably a separate permit application for it. Looking at the plans, though, it's clear that it does not need a variance. If there's any further clarification, I'd like to keep the record open and possibly come up with either a CO
Well,
or.
we can't vote on, we can't tell you that you can't have it. It's
Okay.
not before us. But we're asking about it because we know about it,
Okay.
and we don't want a bathroom down there.
I'm sure my clients would condition no bathroom in the basement.
What we will do if we
yeah,
decide to grant this variance is we will put a condition on it that there will be no three-piece bathroom in the basement. Three-piece bathroom,
Okay,
okay?
understood.
Fair enough?
Very fair.
Do you have consents from the other neighbors, most affected neighbors?
You know, I spoke to my neighbors, to my clients about it. They didn't want to reach out to any of the neighbors, and they didn't get any feedback from the neighbors, unless somebody's here this evening that I'm not aware of.
Well, I know
don't-
there's a new build next door that's for sale, right? There's nobody living there.
Yeah, so they
That-
wasn't-
The other neighbor, that's, I was just concerned to see, nobody responded.
Yeah,
Yes.
nobody responded, nobody reached out to my clients. I did speak to them after we did the mailings, so that being
Right.
said, unless they came tonight,
Anybody else? Correspondence?
Did you want
Oh, I'm sorry. Does anybody want to speak on this application? See anybody out there? Nope. Correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision.
Public hearing is closed. Decision of the board will be forwarded to you by office.
thank you.
Hearing 7, Appeal 26-173, Bianca Markopoulos at 241 North Beach Street, North Massapequa.
Tell the truth during these proceedings?
Yes.
Name and address, please.
Ken Schulman, 209 Lynn Avenue, East Northport. We're proposing a full second-floor addition and a very small front addition that will require 3 minor variances. Currently, the house has 2 bedrooms on the first floor and 2 on the second floor. The owners are expecting their third child and would like to have all the bedrooms up on the second floor. The plan is to convert the existing 2 bedrooms on the first floor to a dining room and a mudroom.
The front addition is to create a very small foyer area since currently the steps to the second floor are very close to the entry door. The first variance we're seeking is for minimum side yard setback. The second floor addition will be built over the footprint of the existing first floor and will maintain the existing non-conforming side setback of 7.7 feet, where 8 feet is the minimum required. The second variance is for average front yard setback. The small front two-story addition will extend 3 feet out from the front, and it will have a proposed 22-foot setback where the average is 24.5 feet. The last variance we are seeking is for a proposed lot coverage of 31.7%, where 25% is the maximum allowed. Currently, the house has a very large detached garage, which is 570 square feet, and a rear deck, which is 157 square feet. If we calculate just the lot coverage for the habitable space, we are at 21.3%, which is well below the maximum 25% allowed. In conclusion, the owner's goal is to expand the house in a way that would provide floor plans that would suit their growing family, and we believe the proposed design will certainly be in keeping with the character of the surrounding neighborhood. I do have to submit a prior variance which was granted for 239 Beach Avenue under decision number 91-15 dated June 20th, 1991. That granted a similar 7.8-foot minimum side yard and a front setback of 22.8 feet, again, similar to what we are proposing.
Right.
If the board has any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Anybody have any questions?
I was to the property, and I do believe that it conforms to the block. There are 3 other homes on the block that have extended the roof.
Okay, anybody else? Anybody wishing to be heard on this application? Correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision?
Public hearing is closed, and the decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Hearing 8, Appeal 26-90, Joni Antonacci at 1 Plainview Road, Bethpage.
After this one, call number 3 again, because somebody else
Oh,
came in,
okay.
right?
Right, okay.
Again, for the record, Robert Schumacher, 6 Denton Place, Farmingdale, New York, representing Mr. and Mrs. Antonucci of 1 Plainview Road in Bethpage. I have some photos, consent letters for the board, and a revised rejection, which I'll discuss in a second. The Antonucci's are seeking a variance to maintain a shed having greater height than required, also for having less side yard setback and the required front yard setback. Also to maintain an outdoor kitchen having less side yard setback than required, and to maintain pool equipment having less side front yard setback and rear yard setback, and to maintain a hot tub having less side and rear yard setback, and a driveway having less than the required rear yard setback, and to maintain a fence exceeding the permitted height. This property is on the corner of Carroll Drive and Plainview Road. The pool filter, heater, hot tub, and outdoor kitchen are all behind a 6-foot fence and large evergreen-type shrubbery, as the photos show. They are not visible from the street. In regard to the driveway, because it's a corner property, this setback is considered a rear yard setback when it's actually a side yard setback. The wide driveway is much needed as there is no parking on the street on Plainview Road. It's a very busy street. This street has a double yellow line on it. It's also posted no parking in the street. All the driveways on Plainview Road have been widened because there's no parking on this street. In regard to the shed, the maximum permitted height is 10 feet, and the existing shed is 10.17 feet, a minor variance in nature. There is no other location for the shed, as this being a corner property, and it mostly has all front yard. The homeowner also is seeking a variance for a fence. It's not the fence on the corner of Carroll Drive and Plainview Road. That fence complies. It's only a 4-foot fence. The fence in question is on the north side of the property, and it's behind large shrubs. It's in line with the house, but the road tapers down in the front, thus requiring a variance, a very minor variance. The variances haven't changed. I did put in revised plans showing that and the new rejection. I have also submitted a revised plan showing the fence complies with the notice of rejection. The notice that went out to the neighbors does include the fencing on the north side. We do have consent letters from the neighbor directly next door at 3 Plainview Road, closest to the hot tub, pool, filter, and driveway. And we also have a letter from the other abutting neighbor at 2 Carroll Drive, and also a letter from the neighbor directly across the street at 43 Stuymas Avenue. As the photos show, the house is in excellent condition and has always been well maintained.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Go ahead.
Changes.
The fence that's on top of,
The retaining wall?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a 4-foot fence. So that complies.
that's on Carroll Drive?
Yes, Carroll Drive. That's why I got the rejection changed. It's the fence on the north side that's off just a minor bit, and we had the plans reflecting that also.
You have that, Susan?
Yeah.
3 sets of plans. Save
Okay.
time, it's all done.
All right, as long as we got the plans. Anybody else have any questions? Anybody wishing to be heard on this application? Correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision?
Public hearing is closed, and the decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office.
Thank you.
We're going to go back to a case that wasn't here earlier, see if they're here. Hearing number 3, Appeal 26-132, Angelo Sedita at 58 Springdale Avenue, Massapequa.
Still not here?
Still not
Okay.
here, okay, we'll
He ain't
continue.
coming then.
Hearing number 9, Appeal 26-100, Michael Lynch at 261 North 6th Street, Bethpage.
Salvatore Koshia, permit to rust, 338 Jericho Turnpike, Syosset, New York, 11791. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board again. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Lynch, who resides at 261 North 6th Street in Bethpage. Property is located in R16 zone. He's proposing to maintain a sauna with a side front setback of 15.8 where 24.8 is required. 2 window wells and a side yard setback of 1.8 where 3 feet is required. And an existing 6-foot PVC fence exceeding the side front yard allowed of 4 feet. I don't believe the 6-foot fence creates any line of sight issues. Most of these items have existed for approximately 10 years with the wells and the sauna. The fence was there when the client purchased the home. It was old, so he just replaced it, assuming it was legal. He did speak to all his neighbors. I do have consents, which I will pass up and highlighted on the radius map of all the people that have no objection to it. And like I said, the reason why I don't think it creates a line of sight issue is because the driveway is approximately 22 feet from the end of the fence to the end of this property.
Okay. Can I ask why there's 2 window wells,
They're egress windows.
but they're close together, and I was just wondering why he put 2 like that. And it's only given a 1.8-foot side yard. All right. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
I do. The fence that abuts the driveway, right, and that wraps around to the Sycamore Avenue, that's a 4-foot fence or 6?
The fence that abuts the driveway and comes around towards the front,
So the driveway is on Sycamore.
it's on Sycamore, it goes all the way to midway of the home, and then it curves up into the house. It's a 6-foot fence.
That's, it just looks like an obstruction to me from here.
Generally, if it was closer to the driveway, I would agree it is an obstruction, but there's 22 feet on the spacing there, so I don't believe that it is an obstruction. However, if the board chooses, I have no problem angling the last section of the fence on the 2 ends there. If you see it from the driveway to, just before the end of the driveway onto Sycamore.
I know what you mean.
And again, the fencing has been there for roughly 24 years without any issues. The only thing he did was replace it, but not realizing that the original fence didn't have a permit.
Anybody wishing to be heard on this application? Correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision?
Public hearing is closed, and the decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing number 10, Appeal 2640, Sahib Mead Kyle Nanda at 217 Cottage Boulevard, Hicksville.
All right, raise your right hand, sir. Promise to tell the truth during these proceedings.
I do.
Your name and address, please.
James Lerner, 424 Madison Street, Westbury, New York.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, good evening, Madam Chairman, members of the board. I'm here representing Sabanet Karananda of 217 Cottage Boulevard. We're proposing to construct a new house that has less average front yard setback. It's actually side front yard setback, second front yard setback on Cottage Boulevard than permitted by the ordinance, and also a cellar entrance that has less than the rear yard setback. 25 feet is required. The cellar entrance is approximately 3.6 feet. We were here before the board a little bit over a year ago, and at that time, we were asking for a variance for lot coverage and floor area and side yard as well. What we did was reduce the house so that we comply with lot area and lot coverage and side yard setback. The only side yard issue, or rear yard issue rather, is cellar entrance. The street curves slightly so that front yard setback that we're a little bit closer to is only in one corner of the house. So the front yard setback is very, very minor. And as far as the cellar entrance, it's corner property. The only private area they have is in the west portion of the house, and the cellar entrance would be used to access a cellar for storage and equipment and a possible future pool items. And that's basically what we're here for.
So I see that this application was denied, similar application.
Yes, with
Last year.
larger,
I'm sorry?
you know, we were asking for floor area, lot coverage, some other things, and we now comply with.
Okay, well, this board does not look favorably on basement entrances. I'm speaking for myself and the board. This is something that will be discussed, but when people propose them to us, we very rarely grant them.
The cellar entrances are very common, they're
We
allowed
ask
by
that you
right
put in
if
an
they
egress well
don't
to keep everybody safe.
encroach.
I understand, but it is, we'll discuss it.
If you could, and they would like it as a convenience. They used to have a shed, we're getting rid of the shed, and there's really no other place to put the equipment.
Oh, well, we will discuss it.
I appreciate it.
Question.
Okay.
Being that you're looking for a cell entrance, what's in the cellar?
The cellar is unfinished,
It's gonna be unfinished.
yes.
So, and how high is the ceiling gonna be in the cellar?
What's that?
How high is the ceiling gonna be in the
6 feet
cellar?
11 to the bottom of the first floor joist.
So they didn't count it in the gross floor area.
It's not counted as floor area, and that was something when we appeared originally, we had a higher cellar.
And 9 foot.
And so
All right.
we reduced that to comply with as much as we could.
Okay. Anybody else?
Is that what
Any-
you see, Michael?
Anybody wishing to be heard on this application? Come on up, ma'am.
I'm just going to swear you in, okay? Would
Yes.
you raise your right hand? Promise to tell the truth during these proceedings?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Your name and address.
Ann Napoli, 109 Linden Boulevard, Hicksville, New York.
Thank you.
I am totally flabbergasted as to what I understand from other neighbors. Over the weekend, they were told by a gentleman who was tall with black hair that he was the owner of 217 Cottage and that he was no longer going with the plans of the enormous house
on that piece of property, he was only going to keep the original house and go up to the second, make a second floor, and not go to this very rich-looking home, which I have the floor plans, and he went to exactly 2 or possibly 3 neighbors and told them that. So I am completely floored unless I have misunderstood everything.
Michael, can I see the elevations, please? So you have a problem with what the house looks like?
Well, on the,
I think I'm looking at the
got the
same plan you
plans.
are.
I believe so, and it's quite involved, and it's quite tall, and
But
the,
the only variance they're asking for besides the cellar entrance is a side front yard of really like 1.5 feet, an encroachment of eaves and gutters.
okay, so why was the man with the dark hair
I
going
don't know
around?
who he is. First of all, I don't know who he is. He's not here. You don't have his name. I don't know. I can't answer that.
I am completely floored.
Well, I'm trying to help you and I'm trying to find out what you're flawed about.
Well, because I understand from the neighbors that he said he is not going with these plans. He is only making a second floor on the original home that is there now.
All right, I'm going to allow the applicant to speak on that. And this is the plan that is before us. This is what it looks like. Okay? And if this man, whoever he is, does try and build something different, we're gonna stop him. The building inspector will stop him if he does something that's not in the plan. That's what will happen.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Mr. Lerner?
Yes, I'm completely unaware of anything.
Yeah,
I did speak to Sabini's brother, and he spoke to a bunch of neighbors who they said were happy about the plan. What it's possible that he was talking about was he's not going to build the original house, which was considerably larger than the one we've proposed. We've shrunk it down to comply with everything.
Yeah, you
So
did.
I think there might have been a misunderstanding, you know, neighbor to neighbor. But basically, we're trying to build, we actually, this house is very much in keeping with what the community has become. Right across the street, there's a very large house that I did the
We're trying
drawings
to
for.
avoid that McMansion look in Hicksville.
Well,
It's very simple, and people are complaining about it. I do think this house is reasonable, in my opinion. I'm not speaking for the other board members. But when you say that it's comparable to what has changed in Hicksville, we're not looking for that.
Well-
Because what has changed in Hicksville is not making the residents happy.
that may be true, but usually when you're looking for a variance, one of the criteria is that it fits in with the surrounding neighborhood. Whether
Correct.
that's good or bad, that's not
But we
for
don't
me
want to
say.
exacerbate it, and that's why that your previous application was denied.
Oh, and I understood that.
And so here we are, and this lady is speaking because she doesn't like what she's seeing in Hicksville,
Yeah,
okay? So I do understand, and I appreciate the fact that you came back with something much more reasonable, and it's beautiful.
yeah, we hope it improves the neighborhood, property values, et cetera.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
None.
Anybody else wishing to be heard on this application? Correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision.
The public hearing is closed, and the decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing number 11, Appeal 26-93, Laura Lynch at 41 Winter Lane, Hicksville.
Can you guys handle
Hello again. Salvatore Koshia, Permits Are Us, 338 Jericho Turnpike, Syosset, New York, 11791. Good evening again. I'm here on behalf of Mrs. Lynch, who resides at 41 Winter Lane, Hicksville. Property is an R17 zone. She's proposing to maintain a rear roof over with a building coverage of 28.7, where 25% is required. Mr. Lynch has passed away. They purchased a home back in the mid-'70s, and shortly right after they built this roof over, not realizing it actually needed a permit. And she's selling now because her husband passed away, and that's why we're here. It's been there for 50 years, or so.
And obviously, it's not enclosed, right?
No, not at all. And we have no objection if you want to condition it that it can't be enclosed.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone wishing to speak from the audience? Okay, correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Okay. The hearing is closed and the decision will be sent to you.
Thank you. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.
Two.
Hearing number 12, Appeal 26-99, Thomas Capisi at 10 Fordham Avenue, Hicksville.
Still under oath, Dean.
Good evening, once again, members of the board. I'm here today on behalf of Mr. Thomas Cambisi of 10 Fordham Avenue in Hicksville. We're asking for one variance on this house, and this is relevant to the proposed rear dormer that we're adding to the house. The variance we're asking for is roof pitch and roof pitch only. We're asking for 2.5 over 12, where the requirement is 6. Now, the reason for this is similar to my last case. This is only a partial dormer. It's a rear dormer. Actually, it's a front dormer only, where the rear is already dormered. And so the rear already has a 2.5 and 12 pitch from the past, and now they're building a new front dormer, which will match that same roof pitch. So, that being said, this meets all the side yard, all the other setback requirements. If there's any questions from the board, I'll gladly answer.
Anybody have any questions?
No. Anybody want to be heard?
Is anybody wishing to be heard on this application? Correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision?
Public hearing is closed, and the decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is hearing 13, Appeal 26-101, Hicksville Plaza 1137 LLC, located at 265 North Broadway, Hicksville.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Allison Lapointe with the firm Sir Tillman Ballin Adler Hyman, offices at 100 Motor Parkway, Hopbug, New York, for the applicant. We are before you this evening for a very minor parking variance for the subject site. The existing site maintains a 35,000 square foot, one-story multi-tenant building. The application is on behalf of Villager Farmers Market, and they are seeking to install 3 cart stalls onto the existing site, which will then take up 3 parking spaces. So we are currently required to maintain 178 parking spaces as per the code. Presently, the site maintains 176, and we're seeking to go down to 173, which is approximately an overall variance of 3%. We believe the site operates quite well in terms of parking. It seems to have excessive parking spaces, therefore we don't believe this reduction will have any impact on the functioning of the site. And with that, I'm available for any questions.
Are they going to be the ones with the quarters?
No, they're not, no.
Good.
No, yeah, we don't have to go digging for change in the bottom. This is simply.
Here too now.
This is simply to make sure that they are, they have a
That-
location
yeah, place
to
for them.
maintain them, and they're not just willy-nilly, to use the technical
Good one,
planning
okay.
term, all over the site.
Thank you. Anybody else?
No.
Anybody wishing to be heard on this application? Correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion? Decision? The public hearing is closed, and the decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office.
Thank you, have a great evening.
You too, thank you. Next hearing is hearing number 14, appeal number 26-102, Abdul Najila Shakur.
Fine, thank you very much.
The letter no contest from the neighbors.
Very good,
And a map that's signed with the...
very good. Thank you.
Hello, how are you?
During these proceedings,
Yes.
name and address.
Peter Toth, 370 Harrison Avenue, Massapequa, New York, 11758.
Thank you.
I'm appearing on behalf of the owners at 9 Woodcrest Road in Hicksville. We're requesting the following variances to close out an open building permit for a whole house renovation, which had amendments to the approved plans. The first variance to allow a side vestibule having less aggregate side yard than permitted. The aggregate side yard is provided as 12.6, where 20 feet is required. The current aggregate side yard is non-conforming for this house at 16.1, so any side yard bump out or roof will be required variance. This was first constructed as a roof over side entrance, and then they wanted to enclose it as a vestibule, which comes off at 3.5 off the house. We made it as small as possible, and the space will be unheated. The second variance that we have here is to allow an existing driveway having less side yard than permitted. The driveway was constructed with a 3.5 setback where 8 foot is required. The garage for this house is only set back 5 feet from the side yard property line, so the original driveway was already less than 8 feet requirement. They made the driveway 1.5 feet inches wider past the side of the house. The driveway also extends across the front of the house in the front of the entrance, portico and steps, which is requiring another variance. The variance to allow the parking in the required front yard. There's no designated walkway to the front entry steps to break up the driveway. It's all one big paved area from the stoop over to the side. There is less than 18 feet distance to the front of the steps to the front yard property. There is 16.6 inches. It's not a legal size parking spot, but you technically can fit another car there in front of the steps to park. The driveway is 33 feet wide, and 2 cars can fit comfortably next to the front of the stoop with a wide walkway area next to it as the intended use is. Lastly, we had variance to amend the specific plan from the first hearing of February 16th of 2023. We feel these are minor changes to the prior approved variance, and upon completing the final survey, the side yard changes slightly from the prior survey used. The prior granted side yard setback was 5.42 from the original survey. The final survey now shows a side yard setback of 5 feet. Also, the aggregate side yard changed from the previous approved total of 16.84, with the final survey now showing 16.1. The original survey was most likely taken off the foundation walls, and the new surveys are now taken from the closest points with having, a decent amount of siding. Overall, these are all minor change requests, which we have no negative impact to the surrounding properties. The neighbors have also no objections to these variances being granted. And that would complete my application.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
It's a lot to throw out there.
Anybody wishing to be heard on this application? Correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion? Decision, the public hearing is closed, and the decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office. Thank you.
Thank you kindly. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Which are we on now? 50, okay. Hearing number 15, Appeal 26-174, Anthony Minervin at 68 Bethpage Road, Hicksville.
Raise your right hand, please. Promise to tell the truth during these proceedings.
I do.
Your name and address, please.
Richard Bronchick, Bronchick, for JL Drafting, 707 Route 110 in Farmingdale.
Thank you.
Good evening.
I'll tell you what it is.
Thank you much.
Because I did it.
Michael, will you
This is a corner property. The owners are proposing to construct a one-story addition, 3 feet of 6-foot-high PVC fencing, and maintain an existing garage, rear addition, and wood stoop with steps to grade. To do so, we require the following variances. The proposed one-story addition would have a second front yard setback of 7.72 feet instead of the minimum required 25.29 feet. The existing wood stoop has an existing side yard setback of 3.02 feet instead of the minimum required 5 feet. The existing garage rear addition has a rear yard setback of 2.26 feet instead of the minimum required 3 feet. The proposed one-story addition, existing wood stoop and garage rear addition, building coverage of 34.62% exceeds the maximum permitted building coverage of 28%. The proposed gross floor area of 1991.85 square feet to include the proposed one-story addition and existing wood stoop exceed the maximum permitted gross floor area of 1882.46 square feet, and the proposed 6-foot-high PVC fence along the Grove Street side exceeds the maximum permitted height. The main issue here is the one-story addition. The addition is to add a first-floor bedroom and bathroom for the homeowners who are in their 70s. The only 2 bedrooms in the house now are on the second floor. The one bedroom in the dwelling is on the first floor. The owners, as I said, are in their 70s and have numerous health issues. As the board is aware, a hardship has been approved for Mrs. Minervini based on a letter from her doctor documenting her cardiac condition, left knee replacement, and the need for a right knee replacement. What the board may not be aware of is that Mr. Minervini also has many health issues, including having had prostate cancer, having prostate cancer currently, having had back surgery, having had his left hip replaced, and needing his right hip replaced too, currently. The gist of all of this is that it's extremely difficult and painful for them to go up and down stairs. Thus the need for the addition. The size of the addition is dictated by the fact that with the upcoming surgeries, they have to use a walker, and they need a certain amount of space in between the furniture to have space for the walkers in order to maneuver. Regarding the 6-foot-high PVC fence along Grove Street side of the property, the notice of rejection states in effect that the entire 6-foot PVC fence on that side of the house is proposed. That's incorrect. Most of the fence in question has existed since 1988, pursuant to the granting of a variance by this board, case number 88-31, decision dated January 21, 1988, and building permit L06023, issued April 15, 1988. Our survey dated December 31, 2025, shows the current location of the fence. As part of this project, we propose to remove approximately 18 feet of the eastern part of the fence in order to build, which would then, well, let's strike that. We propose to remove approximately 18 feet of the eastern part of the fence. We also propose to add 3 feet of fencing to connect the northwest corner of the proposed one-story addition with the open eastern edge of the remaining fence. Now, I've given you diagrams of the site plan, and hopefully that's somewhat clear. The pink indicates on the front page where the fence is now. The blue indicates where we want to add fencing, and the orange indicates what we want to cut back. And I need to make one clarification. There's orange on that walkway. That shouldn't be there. There's a gate there that's not shown on the site plan that's going to remain. So the fencing will go up from the garage to where it is now parallel to Grove Street, with a gate across that walkway, and then to a point to the corner of the proposed one-story addition. And we propose to add in blue 3 feet of fencing, of 6-foot fencing. and we want to we want to keep it at 6 feet for privacy issues. It submitted that regarding the other
Are
variances.
you clear or no?
Excuse me?
I don't know if it's creating new variances or not. A zoner
Yeah,
has to go,
you're
because I can't do this at the
changing,
podium.
yeah, you're changing the fence, and zoning hasn't looked at it yet.
Right. I have to have it, it has to be zoned, sir. It's gotta go downstairs to zoning. I don't know if you're creating new variances, different variances.
No, this is, the rejection stated that.
Oh, so it's exactly, are you making any changes?
Well, what I'm saying is that on the rejection notice, the rejection notice stated that all of that fencing is proposed. And what I'm just saying is that most of that is existing, and the area that is proposed is that 3-foot section.
Just the blue?
Just the
That's what's
blue.
on- So that's how you have it on your.
Right.
So this is correct, this is all
Right, the only
correct.
thing I wanted to amend from that site plan was that what I added in orange, a section on the walkway. You see that walkway that's parallel to the proposed addition, right in the middle?
That?
Yeah, yes.
You added that. That's a
Well,
gate?
I added the orange, and what I'm trying to say is, there's already an existing gate there that's not shown on the site plan, that is remaining. That's all I'm saying.
So it's there, but you highlighted it?
By mistake, that's what I was saying. I was just correcting that.
You guys gotta have a conversation.
This has to go on reserve, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry?
It's
It's
gonna
gonna go
have
on
to go on
reserve. We're gonna have a conversation about this, because we are not gonna approve something
not
unless
su-
I know exactly what's going on here.
Right.
And I'm confused, and so is the chair,
So
the
what's,
secretary.
what you handed in, sir, the plan that you handed in, that was originally, is there any difference that you're saying now?
I think the gate is existing, but you just
That's
highlighted
not
it.
shown on the site plan?
Yes,
Yeah.
it highlighted it by mistake.
Well, you know what, maybe it is. Here, I'll tell you what, you tell me if this is shown. I incorrectly showed it in the highlight. What I try to love, this is a gate right here, right, it's shown there. So it's on, the gate is on the plan.
Does this help the gate, see the existing fence?
The plans also say existing.
And the extension is going where the pool is?
That one section.
Okay.
He's moving the fence?
No, he's not.
You said everything is existing,
Right.
except that one section.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's, good, all right.
Okay.
Okay,
What was
Sorry
just
for the
adding?
confusion.
yeah,
My apologies for the confusion.
yeah, we don't want to be confused.
Certainly not on my account,
No.
so I apologize. It's submitted that the setback request for the existing garage rear addition and existing wood stoop with steps to grade are minor in nature, especially given the size, dimensions, and shape of the property. And also, the garage rear addition has existed since at least 1985, when the owners purchased the property. And also, we submit that they do not negatively affect the neighbors or the character of the area. It's also my understanding that 2 letters from neighbors of adjoining properties have been submitted with this application, and we therefore request that the variances be granted in their
Do you
entirety.
have any consent letters from residents?
I do not.
No? Oh, then, if we
Strike
don't,
that.
if they're not there, they're not there.
Okay.
I was told they were submitted.
All right,
If you have
Yeah, if
them?
you have them, you can submit them.
Yeah,
Please. They have.
But I'll
Okay.
answer
They're
questions.
not in my file, but maybe we can make it part of the record.
That'd be great, thank you. Any questions from the board?
I don't have any questions. Does anybody else have questions?
No.
Anybody wishing to be heard on this application? Correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision.
The public hearing is closed.
Thank you very
And
much.
the
Have a good
decision
evening.
of the board will be forwarded to you by our office.
Thank you.
What's going on here?
Hearing number 16, Appeal 26-92, Robert Dash, 33 Deborah Road, Syosset.
Move this along.
Again, for the record, Robert Schumacher, 6 Denton Place, Farmingdale, New York. Have some photos and consent letters I'd like to turn into the board. Mr. Dash is seeking a variance to maintain a deck not having the required side yard setback and to maintain a front porch not having the required aggregate setback. In regard to the deck, it's maintaining a 6.4-foot side yard setback where 8 feet is required. It does follow the existing house going straight back, but the hardship is the property tapers off in the back. It gets more narrow as you go in the backyard. There is a fence in between the properties. Also in that location, the neighbor has their shed as the photos show. The front porch squares off the front of the house. It's just the aggregate that needs a variance. It does meet the required side yard setbacks. We do have a consent letter from the neighbor most affected by this variance at 35 Deborah Road. There is a fence in between the properties. If this variance was granted, the homeowners will condition not to roof over or enclose the front porch or deck. There is a hot tub in the rear yard. It does have a locking cover, and it complies with zoning regulations. As the photos show, the house is in excellent condition, as it always been well maintained.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Anybody wishing to be heard on this application? Correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision.
Public hearing is closed, and the decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too,
Thank you. Too. Hearing 17, Appeal 26-97, CBI Capital Incorporated, 2697.
Good evening.
I'll tell the truth during this proceeding.
Yes, I do.
Name and address.
Robert LaBarbera, 115 North Broadway, Hicksville, New York. L.A. Good evening.
Good evening.
We're here for CBI Capital, Inc., Charles Seminaro of 7 Searingtown Drive, Syosset. It is Section 25, Block 43, Lot 13, in the R1-20 zone, appeal number 26-97. We're here to seek a variance to construct a pool house exceeding maximum height, gross floor area, and having less rear yard setback than permitted by ordinance, also encroachments of eaves and gutters. A correction on that first part there. We are going to withdraw the maximum height requirement. We're going
On the pool house?
Yeah, we're going to make it comply,
Good idea.
which will be 12 foot.
Thank you.
Also, the variance will include a bathroom in the proposed pool house. And I'll explain the pool house design and everything else a little bit. A variance to install an in-ground swimming pool having less rear yard setback and front yard setback than permitted by ordinance. Variance to install pool equipment having less rear yard setback than permitted by ordinance. And variance to erect a 6-foot high PVC fence, which will, correction there, it's not going to be PVC. This part of the variance will be what's called an estate fence. It's the vertical wire, metal open fence with landscaping part of it. And I'll explain that again a little bit later. And I'll go back to that one. Variance to erect 6-foot high metal fence exceeding maximum height across the front yard than permitted by ordinance. This property on 7 Searingtown Drive is an odd-shaped property, but it is over the square footage that's required for this zone. The requirement on this zone is 20,000 square feet, and this property is over, it's 30-something. One second, let me find that for you. I just saw that. I believe it's like 33,000 square feet. So it's an oversized property, but the shape of the property is very odd. If you see standing out on Searingtown Drive on the right side, the property is 169 feet deep. But when you look all the way on the left side, standing out in the street again, looking at the property narrows down to 37 feet. So it's like a triangular shape, very long, 278 feet long along Searingtown Drive. So there's no location for the pool for the variance that we're going for, to put it anywhere else. So the in-ground pool is going to require a variance. Some fencing is going to require variances to go around the property. So I'll go through those items one at a time here. the pool house requires a 20-foot setback from the rear yard. The back of this property also has train tracks that run straight along the whole rear of the property. So requirement of 20 feet, we're going down to 5 feet up against the train track property, the Long Island Railroad.
Do they know?
When they drive by, they'll probably look at it.
A little toot?
The pool house will exceed the GFA because the house that was built maximized the GFA. Pretty much. We're 345 square feet over on the GFA for the pool. The pool will also include a 3-piece bathroom in there. The design of this pool house is fully glassed doors that open on the front and on the right side that faces the house. So if the 3-piece bathroom is an issue, we're willing to put a restriction on the pool house that says that it can never be enclosed, and it will always be like an open structure, not to be used any other way.
When you say open structure, it's got 4 walls, they just.
It's got 4 walls, it's got these huge glass doors that face the pool. They're called nano doors, like fully open. And also the part that faces the house. So when that's fully open, then it's like an open structure. It's not closed with 4 complete closed walls.
But the bathroom's enclosed.
The bathroom will be enclosed. It's a shower for using the pool.
It's getting late.
Yeah. The pool also requires, let's see, we had the rear yard setback on the pool. Well, that's the pool house. But the swimming pool itself has a couple of setback issues. The rear yard setback for the pool itself needs to be 20 feet. We're going for a variance of only a couple of inches on that, not a big deal. The proposed pool does have a requirement in the front yard of 70 feet from the street. We're only going 50 feet. Again, because this triangle-shaped property, it really narrows down where the pool is located. It just encroaches a little bit towards the front property line. The pool equipment needs a requirement of 20 feet. We're going to the 5 feet. That's again, that's along the train tracks in the back. Not going to affect any neighbor or anybody else on the block who's going to be visually able to see, unless they're commuting, able to see the equipment. And then the fence that's going to be put on this property requires a variance in the front yard. But because this property is narrow, very narrow on the left side where it's 37 feet, that first 37 feet of property on that little triangle, not even a triangle, on that little narrow piece of property, and then continuing along the Long Island Railroad property line is considered a front yard property. It's considered a front yard setback. It's in the setback of the requirement. So that's going to require a variance, even though that goes along the train tracks. It does not go along the street. The fence that's being built along the street is only 4 foot, and no variance and no requirement due here tonight.
The neighbors, some of the neighbors are under the impression that's going to be a 6-foot fence.
I spoke to one already. I heard there's some others. So if that's something of a concern, before they start coming one after the other, if you want to pause the hearing and let me speak to them, show them the
I
map.
don't know that they're here. I have a bunch of
Oh,
letters in front
okay.
of me that I'm kind of looking at, but we'll
I
find
explained
out.
to the one neighbor, and then he said, no, that's fine. Everybody's under the impression if they hear front yard,
Well, I saw it too on mine, but it's
Yeah.
not highlighted, and it's existing proposed 4-foot vinyl fence.
correct, but the front yard on the letters that we sent out says it's a front yard setback, or a front yard variance for the fence.
Oh.
And it says 6-foot vinyl, so let me see the writing on that. Let me clarify that for you. On letter E, variance to erect 6-foot-high PVC fence exceeding maximum height across the front yard. So it's confusing. Most people think that means it's on the front yard property on the street. But in this case, it's not.
It's reversed.
It's on the side yard, which is not considered a side yard because of the narrowness of the property.
Very strange.
Right, it's a very strange property. So most people see that, and they think 6-foot white fence,
We would never let you have it, by the way.
which,
Ever.
no.
Never.
So we're doing a 4-foot with some landscaping that they're gonna put either in front or behind the fence. We haven't decided that yet. But either way, we're not here for that tonight. The
Right.
part we're here for is that little sliver of 37 feet on the,
And there's no driveway next to that,
no,
right?
no driveway over there. And then the first 70 feet along the Long Island Railroad. So it really is, it's deceiving. And we were trying to, there are new neighbors in the property. It's been kind of difficult to get around to some of the people. And once I heard about that just 2 days ago, I was like, well, I wanted to try to talk to these people, but unfortunately, we didn't get a chance tonight. So if they're here and they want to speak to me, I'm willing to explain, show them on the diagram.
I do have a lot of letters here, and I don't have the voice to read them all, but it's mostly about the fence.
Okay,
So-
well, if it's about the
And I will
fence.
go over I will talk about it. I'm sorry, are you done? No,
I'm
keep
done,
going.
yes. I'm complete.
All right. Yeah, basically, this person objects to the proposed plans, including an oversized pool house. Considering the size of the property and the amount of available usable area, we understand the owner's wish for a large pool and the pool house relative that they purchased, to expect the zoning board and all the residents living on the street to accept numerous variances that would essentially ignore front setback requirements, rear setbacks, building height requirements, and maximum permitted gross floor area, fencing height, and setback, would permanently alter the character of Searingtown Drive. It's a very long letter, and you're certainly welcome to read it yourself. I'm not gonna read it, there's just too many and they're too long. This is from a Phyllis Edelheit at 11 Searingtown Drive. And then we have Martin Horvance is putting up 270 feet of 6-foot-tall fence on the sidewalk. We're not doing that. And then we have David Liu. He wrote a letter, also a very long letter.
Some people, I'm sorry, pardon me.
All right.
I hear that some of the people are here.
All right,
I
so
don't
we'll
know
let
if you-
them come up, because I can't read
Yes,
all
if
this.
you-
It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
And any more questions from the board members of the applicant before I let the residents?
Can I ask one question of you?
Yeah.
I see on the plan that there is a proposed cellar entrance. Is that
Oh.
actually existing?
Cellar entrance, only,
There is no cellar entrance?
no, the house has been built, that's part of the acceptable, allowed
See it?
permit.
It's on the plan.
Oh, you've seen the site plan? Oh, the site plan shows, yes, that's built part of the house as of right. This is R1-20 zone, no variance required for the building of the house. No restrictions for the basement in that zone. And it was built as of right. That's not part of this application. The pool is only the application, the pool and pool house, not the house.
Okay. All right, anybody wish to speak on this application, please come up. If you want to speak, please come up. We'll be sworn in. We'll let you speak.
Didn't they all come up and be sworn in?
I think it's just the two of them.
Would you raise your right hand, sir? Promise to tell the truth during these proceedings?
Yes, I do.
Your name and address, please.
My name is Jack Horn. I reside at 245 Foxhunt Crescent in Oyster Bay Cove, New York.
Thank you, sir.
I'm actually here on behalf of Phyllis and David Edelheit, whom you've just mentioned.
You got to speak louder and pull that
I'm here
microphone.
actually on behalf of Phyllis and David Edelheit, who wanted very much to be here but could not be because of a family obligation out of the country that
Okay.
was imperative. But their main objection, as I think you indicated, is to the privacy fence that was.
Could you talk into the microphone, please?
Oh, is that it? Okay,
Just-
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
there you go.
Their main objection is, whoa. Their main, their main objection is to the privacy fence that apparently is going to be located on the road.
And
They
it's
do
4 feet
indic-
high.
But, okay, the question is, and is that within code?
Yes, they're not even here for it. It's just on the plan. They can put it up tomorrow if they want to.
Okay, so there's nothing, okay, all
Nothing you
right.
can do about it.
There's nothing we
Per
can do
code.
about it.
If they
Okay.
wanted a 6-foot fence, that would be different.
And it's
But they
clear-
are putting a 6-foot fence in the backyard along the railroad.
Yeah, well, that's something that, I mean, is that something that's apparent from the outside, from the,
No, maybe the small sliver at the end of their property might be visible to the rest of the residents, but it goes from the sidewalk to the back of the house.
is, when you say a privacy fence, if they have a solid fence
If-
there?
If it's, it says vinyl fence, so I'm going to assume it's a solid fence.
And that's allowed under the existing
You
code?
would only see it from the railroad, the 6-foot fence.
No, I understand, I'm talking about the fence along the
It's-
street.
Yes. It's 37 feet,
Okay, and that will be clear, that will be clear, that will be.
a solid fence.
Okay. And they also were objecting to the occupied area, the improvements, the fact that the improvements exceed the allowable floor area, because the character of the neighborhood is such that there's, you know, it has a green leafy appearance, and having more structures on an area, which is quite imposing actually, because that's really that area, that building, that irregular property is right at the big entrance from Syosset Woodbury Road. So, you know, that's there are only two ways of getting onto that street. And they were also objecting to that.
If you could speak into the microphone.
They were
we
also
can hear
asking,
you.
they were also asking that the board look, or at least talk to, or perhaps communicate with the Long Island Railroad in connection with the, well, no, you don't do that? All right.
Never.
They're-
They don't communicate at all.
They're only asking the question as to whether or not the backwashing of the pool, which is going to only be 5 feet away from the tracks, from the area,
The
might
town is gonna
interfere.
make sure that the backwash from the pool is disposed of in a proper manner, and they're gonna have to demonstrate to the town how they're gonna do that. So
Okay.
it's not gonna be a concern of the Long Island Railroad,
All right, okay.
okay?
All right, so you have the letter, basically.
Yes.
And so you can.
Thank
can
you,
consider
thanks for
that.
coming down.
Okay, thank you.
Next speaker?
Promise to tell the truth during these proceedings?
Yes, I
Name
do.
and address.
Yeah, David Liu, Liu, 6 Singleton Drive. Yeah, I understand the applicant is trying to make a fence in front of the house along Singleton Drive.
4 feet high.
4 feet high, right? So, however, on this variance, on paper, we still see 6 feet high fence, right? Can this
Not
be?
on my paper.
No, it's,
Here's
Okay.
what we have, sir, I'm gonna show it to you.
All right,
So, he's gonna put, where you see yellow, show 'em.
yeah, this is on the drawing, right?
It's on the drawing.
On this paper, I receive, every neighbor receive, right? Is that still?
So the town calls this, they call this little piece right here, sir.
Okay.
That's a side front.
Right.
So that, they're calling that front, because it's a side front yard because of the shape of the property. So this is a side front, so that's where the word front is coming from.
Okay.
Okay?
I see.
So it's
this
just
is
right
variance
here, sir.
E, only referring this portion of the fence.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And this is 4 foot, which is has of right.
Okay, so
Okay?
that's clear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good.
That's all, I think.
That's it?
It should be, should be reasonable. And regarding the pool house, I think they have made.
Sir, can you speak to us?
Sorry. Regarding the pool house, right, I do have some concerns in my letter as well. But I do hear that they also make some little alteration of the design, right?
They're trying to make the design so that it could not ever be used as a residence, so they're using glass.
Okay,
This board does have concerns, and we're gonna talk about the pool house.
okay, fine.
But,
Yeah.
you know, it sounds like the way they're designing it, they're trying to design it so that it is an open kind of structure. They're gonna push the glass doors back,
And also they're going to reduce the
and
height.
they're reducing the height to make
Okay.
it comply, which would be 12 feet instead of 15.
Okay, so
All right.
that's all my original concern.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Here was it. Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
coming. Anybody else want to talk about this? I'm sorry, was that? It's getting late.
I know.
If you raise your right hand, sir, Promise to tell the truth during these proceedings?
Yes, I will.
Your name and address, please.
Marty Hovance, 8 Searing Ton, not Searing Town, Searing Ton Drive, Syosset. My only concern is this 4-foot fence. You said they could put the 4-foot fence up tomorrow. That is fine. I just want to make sure it's not going to be a 6-foot vinyl fence.
Not.
That is what
The
I,
town will be there very quickly if they try that.
okay, that is my main concern. And that is fine. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have all this correspondence that you're going to put into the record. Come on back.
Thank you.
Okay, well, make a couple of comments. The first one, most of the concerns is all about the fence, and I think we clarified that a couple of times here, that the fence that's along the street is only gonna be 4 foot less than this podium high. And so the most of that concern should be, okay. The 6 foot that's gonna continue is on that side little property line like we spoke about, and along the train tracks, the first 70 feet. And the other gentleman seemed to be okay with the fence. So unless the board has any other questions.
There's going to be discussion when it comes to voting on the 3-piece bathroom in the pool house.
Okay,
It's going to be a 2-piece bathroom.
okay, well,
It has to be.
if it, okay.
I mean, I
yeah.
appreciate what you tried to do with the design, but I know that the board members were all, it's
Okay.
going to be a 2-piece bathroom.
So
Okay.
we'll put that restriction, on the,
That's, any other correspondence?
Just all the letters. And then Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision.
Public hearing is closed, and the decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office. Thank you.
thank you, have a good evening.
You too.
Hearing 18, Appeal 26-89, John Andre Chapul at 14 Crossway, Glen Head, New York.
Good evening, Madam Chairwoman, members of the board. My name is Judy Simoncic. I'm an attorney with the firm of Forcelli, Deegan, Tarana, with offices at 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard in Uniondale. I'm appearing on behalf of the applicant this evening. With me this evening is Mike Lynch, our real estate appraiser, who will be addressing the board during our presentation. We are here this evening seeking a single variance for a lot width to subdivide the property known as 14 Crossway in Glen Head into 2 building lots and to allow the construction of one additional single-family dwelling. Other than the requested lot width variance for parcel 2, the proposed subdivided lots will fully comply with all of the dimensional requirements under the R1-1A zoning district in which the property is situated. The subject property is a single oversized rectangular parcel with over 250 feet of street frontage on Crossway with a depth of 378.30 feet. It has a total area of 2 acres, which is 2 times the minimum 1 acre requirement in the district. As you can see on the survey, the proposed partitioning map, it's improved with a 1.5-story colonial-style home that was completed in 1970 by the applicant's father. And as you can see on the map, the footprint of the existing home is located on the northern side of the property in such a way that would allow for the subdivision without rendering the existing home non-conforming. Now, the house was actually intentionally placed in this location when it was built in 1970 by the applicant's father. He did that knowing down the road that they would plan to subdivide this property. That was his intent, otherwise the house would have been placed in the center of this parcel. Additionally, the father also planted trees along what will be the new property line between parcels 1 and 2, and if any of the board members have visited the site, you will see those trees. I see the chairman shaking, yes. So those trees are mature now, and they will serve as a buffer between the parcels. In addition, you would have noticed that there's a significant amount of mature perimeter plantings around the entire parcel 2 that will also act as a buffer between parcel 2 and the abutting properties to the south and east. There is also an existing driveway apron, which you may have noticed, and it's on the plan for parcel 2. That driveway apron, I have been advised, was constructed actually by the town They also constructed the small driveway that goes into the property when they widened the road about 20 years ago. So clearly, even the town recognized that someday this parcel would be developed with a single-family dwelling. Going back to the code, as I indicated, both lots will meet or exceed the minimum requirements with respect to lot area and street frontage required by the code. Likewise, both homes will comply with the minimum front, side, and rear yard setbacks, as well as the maximum building coverage that's required under the R1-1A district. I would also point out that the height of the proposed dwelling is at 29. It is below the required permitted 30. That was a concern of one of the neighbors who I spoke with earlier this evening, who lives adjacent to the property, but we do comply with the height as well, and the house really is not the subject of the application. It relates strictly to the lot width. Again, the sole variance requested is for the parcel width, which at its narrowest point, if you see on the subdivision map, it's at 103.2 feet wide, where 125 feet is required. This is not a substantial variance, given that the deficiency in the lot only exists for about half the parcel, because it gradually widens from 103.2 feet as you go towards the rear, so we do comply in the back. It goes up to the 125 feet at the rear yard setback for the property. So generally, the nonconformity, I'll point to the map, is at this line extending back to here. This is the only portion that doesn't comply, so only half the property does not comply, where traditionally, when you see a lot with variances, usually the whole lot doesn't comply. This one, as you go back, it starts to come more in conformance, and then ultimately at the rear yard setback, we're at 125 feet. As you can also see, the new home was really deliberately designed to have the least impact on any surrounding properties. It's an L-shaped home with the L-shaped portion being the garage. That portion of the new home is what's closest to the street, what's closest to Crossway. That distance from Crossway to the garage is about 100 feet. And then if you look at the two-story portion of the home, which is even further back, that's about 133 feet back from Crossway. So this proposed dwelling will have no visual impacts on any of the streetscape because of the significant setbacks that we're proposing. And you'll hear more about the other homes that are closer to the streets, that are similar size, that certainly this one is not going to have any impact on the visual impacts or the surrounding properties or the character of the neighborhood for that matter. And again, we had designed the house also so that it fits within the building envelope, and we also are intentionally providing a larger side yard setback on the south side. So we require under the code 20 feet on one side yard and an aggregate of 50. We oriented the house so that the larger setback is adjacent to the houses that abut us on the other side on Wedgewood Court. And we have 20 feet between the existing house and the proposed house, also in deference to the neighbors to ensure that we're not going to have any adverse impact on them. The home itself is a beautiful traditional brick colonial home with 5 bedrooms, which is consistent with the other number of bedroom houses in the area. And it has a total living area of 5,184 square feet. When I was speaking with one of the neighbors, they indicated that the house was 6,400 square, something above 6,000. It is not over 6,000. It's actually 5,184 square feet. The house actually, with the minimum 1 acre restrictions, could be as large as 7,000 square feet. So we're under that minimum requirement as well. And now, in terms of the character of the community, the property is surrounded by a lot of 1 acre lots, except for a few. And there are others, which you're going to hear about in a moment, that are also do not meet the width requirements. So we really believe that what we're proposing is in character with the neighborhood, and it's a very good application. So at this time, unless the board has any questions of me, I'd like to have Mr. Lynch address the board. He's done a study of the neighborhood and looked at the character, and I'd like him to address the board at this time. And I would, before I bring him up, ask the board to recognize him as a real estate expert. Mr. Lynch has appeared before this board on numerous occasions as an expert, and he's been recognized in the past, so I would ask the board to acknowledge that he would be a real estate expert.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, before I begin, good evening.
Good
again,
evening,
Madam
welcome
Chair.
back.
Members of the board, it's Michael Lynch, 15 Dewey Street, Huntington, New York. Here is the real estate appraiser on this matter. I have some handouts. I also have a display that I prepared depicting this 1 acre section of Glen Head within the North Shore School District, formerly known as the High Farm section of Glen Head. I have condensed copies of that. I'd like to submit those. Oh, I'm sorry. I have a width study that was prepared by North Coast Civil, showing the area of the lot in question that's deficient with respect to lot width of 125 feet.
Thanks, hon. Perfect.
This is a width study. There's highlighted ones, other ones are. I have copies of the photos that I took back in May of the subject property as well as the surrounding neighborhood.
Thank you.
And then lastly, you have the copies of the, lastly, I have 3
Do you have enough, Mike?
zoning board decisions of note in the immediate area. I'd like to submit those.
Yeah,
It's your mother's old neighborhood, Mike.
Oh, last thing is the tax maps that cover this area that are highlight some of those deficient lots with respect to lot width and some other variances.
You're burying us in paper.
He's the expert.
What? Yes, this right, yeah, got it.
Thanks, Mike.
So, yeah, I was out at the property back in May. I took a number of photos of the property, as well as the surrounding area along Crossways and Wedgewood Court and Beaver Court to the south. So as you know, it's known as 14 Crossway in Glen Head, Section 22, Block F01, Lot 300. It's an overall 2-acre lot that was developed in the early 1970s by the applicant's father. It's a farm, the existing house is a farm ranch style home with a 2-car attached garage. The lot itself has a slight jog in it, but it has actually 253 feet of frontage on Crossways Park. It's located just north of Wedgewood Court. And as you know in the application here, we're looking to split the property into 2 with one compliant lot, fully compliant lot, that being the existing residence on Lot 1, and then Lot 2, which is the subject of tonight's hearing, would be the proposed building lot. And again, we have 253 to frontage on Crossway. However, due to the configuration, the lot itself slightly flares out, and at the average setback, we're at a deficient 103 feet and change width that extends out about 2/3, 3/4 down the property. So approximately half of the property, as you see in that study that was done by the engineer, approximately a little over half, or 50%, is deficient with respect to its width. But again, from the street, you've got 253 feet of frontage. The minimum is 125 feet of width. So outwardly, again, it's, from a character standpoint, and given the existing screening that's on the lot, and where the proposed residence will be situated on the lot, there won't be an impact. So I'd like to go, just describe the area again. This is in the R1A, 1A section of Glen Head, which is the 1 acre portion of, informally this area is High Farms Road. This particular area in the southerly part of this section of Glen Head is just north of the village of Old Brookville. So I prepared a map of this overall 1 acre section of Glen Head. So my boundaries were Cedar Swamp Road to the west, to the north, Frost Pond Road, to the east, Brookville Road and the incorporated village of Old Brookville, and of course to the south. So this is all 1 acre within the North Shore School District of Glen Head. All 1 acre zoning. And in this area, we're at the southern end of Crossway, which is the newer area of this portion. Apparently this used to be cornfields back in here. But this area in the southerly part, which includes the subject property, was developed in the early 70s, and there's some newer developments off Birch Hill Lane directly opposite the property off a private right-of-way that were developed later, and there's some newer, larger homes in there. But generally speaking, as you go north, it's the older section of High Farms, and up on the High Farms Road, there were a lot of the old estate homes on 2 and 3 acre lots. On Crossway itself, between Wedgewood and High Farms, we're abutted by roughly 1 acre lots to our south and to our east on Beaver Court. Opposite, we're opposite 2 acre lots. As you go north on Crossway, they're primarily 2 acre lots, but there's also a building lot, a 1 acre lot that again would appear to be a legal building lot of approximately 1 acre, which is right now is part of common ownership of the house at the corner of High Farms. But again, as you go north, the lots get larger. Again, we're abutted on 4 sides by roughly 1 acre lots to our south and to our east. The proposal, if this variance goes through, is the applicant would like to build a new traditional brick colonial with roughly 5,200 square foot gross living area colonial that is in keeping with the newer homes that have been built in this section of Glen Head, and just to the south, diagonally opposite to the southwest of us, we have number 8 Wedgewood. And at this point, I'll go through the photos, and I'll point that particular house out. So if we go through the panel of photos that I prepared, photo 1 is a view of, as Ms. Simoncic described, there's a curb cut in there that appears to have been constructed by the town of Oyster Bay a number of years ago, possibly in anticipation that this lot would be developed at some point in the future. But that view is from Crossway looking east. This is an interior view at photo 2, and again, there was also a little parking area there. You can see the property is almost park-like. The applicant maintains it. It's primarily a grassed area, except for the heavy screening around the perimeter of this proposed lot 2. And as Ms. Simoncic pointed out, in the left of that photo, you can see a line of trees that's on the property that the dad of the applicant proposed, again, down the road to someday subdivide the property and delineate it in that way where the line of trees. But as we go through this photo, you'll see that the perimeter of this proposed lot 2 is largely screened with deciduous vegetation. Photo 3 is a view looking due east to the home that abuts on Beaver Court. Again, that's a heavy tree line, very well screened. Further screening is lot 2. This is looking at the southerly border with those homes at 10 and 12 Wedgewood Court. one of the gentlemen at number 10, he is here tonight, and we talked about the existing screening along his property line. As you go to photo 5, that is the border with 10 Wedgewood Court, and again, you can see the heavy screening there and a slight berm of the property. Photo 6 is a view at number 12 Wedgewood, which abuts. There is a lower hedgerow there, but from what I understand, the applicant is willing to augment any areas that are not fully screened if the neighbors so choose to see further screening. But again, the placement of the proposed home is going to be further west of this, so that their view shed north, that being the house on 12 should not be impacted. And again, if it were, the property owner is willing to do additional screening. But again, the primary characteristic of this proposed Lot 2 is the heavy screening around the perimeter of its proposed boundary. The last interior photo is number 7, and that's looking out to Crossway. And again, you can see the heavy screening between the street and the westerly portion of the proposed lot. Photo 8 is a view of the existing residence, which is on proposed Lot 1. That, again, would be a fully conforming lot with the requisite 125 foot of width. Moving on to photo 9, this is the home at number 2 Wedgewood, due south of the property. And again, the heavy screening that I observed is that there will be no impact. And as in terms of a view shed, as Ms. Simoncic pointed out, the proposal for the home that is to be built is fully conforming with respect to its height. It's just under the 30 feet. And to that point as well, the portion of the house that would face Crossway would be a 1.5-story section of the garage. And given, again, the screening on Crossway, the house is not going to be seen largely from the home on the opposite side of Crossway. Moving on, we have the other abutting house to the south at 12 Wedgewood. Again, this home, there is some opening to the screening of the subject properties, but again, this home is facing more north, and the new home would not largely be seen. But again, the property owner and applicant did indicate that they would provide for an augmented screening plan should it be necessary. Opposite the property is number 17 Crossway, and that borders a private right-of-way known as Birch Hill Lane. Photo 12 is a new home that was constructed at 12 Crossway. That's diagonally opposite to the northwest. Photo 13 is a view of a house that received relief from this board recently for a rear yard setback. That was a redeveloped lot. The gross living area of that home, which is diagonally opposite subject lot 1, is slightly smaller, but largely similar in terms of gross living area to what is proposed for the subject lot. Photo 14, again, is just a blow-up of the lots of the proposed property in the surrounding area. So I'd like to go back to the map that I prepared. And in this map, again, this is roughly the High Farm section of Glen Head, the 1-acre zone area of this section of Glen Head. The yellow denotes lots in the R1A zone that are deficient with respect to lot width. There's a number of homes on Cross Pond Road that are deficient with lot width. There's a home here on High Farms Road that was the subject of a subdivision a number of years ago. That's deficient all the way back from street level all the way back to the rear property line, and that's at number 80 High Farms. There's a flag lot at number 135 High Farms. That's deficient with respect to the obviously it's a flag lot. lot width at 150 High Farms. Moving east on Bowden Lane, we have two flag lots, one of which I could not find the other ZBA, but I would imagine it's part of the same, but this received relief for the flag lot configuration, and I would imagine the other, which is non-conforming as well, received relief. But we foiled these, but we didn't come up with that many. I'm just pointing out, utilizing either surveys or tax maps, whether they're deficient with respect to lot width. Across the street, directly across the street, there's a private right-of-way known as Birch Hill Lane. And these are newer homes in here. In fact, there's some new, larger homes in here that are similar in size. In fact, I can hand in one of the newer homes. Well, when I say newer, maybe in the 2000s, there was a home built with roughly a 5,200 square foot gross living area. I'll hand in that particular Nassau County assessment card. But these two lots at number 1 and number 3 received relief from this board, not for lot width, but they lacked street frontage. So I believe it was a variance for 288. And that's right across the street from the subject off of Birch Hill Lane. But again, these are some newer homes in the area, some very large, newer homes versus the older 70s homes that are directly to the south of us on Wedgewood Court, which was built primarily in the 70s, includes largely builders, colonials, some farm ranches, and some ranches. So I thought that this was an important graphic here to show again
Mr.
the
Lynch?
nature and the makeup of the area. But again, we're abutted roughly by 4 one-acre lots to our south.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
I have to interrupt you.
Our stenographer needs a break.
Oh, sure.
She's been typing for 2.5 hours.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. We're taking a break.
Not too much longer.
You can come on the side and ask a question, ma'am.
What? Yes, yes. This one is locked. It's locked again, so go to the Reels menu. Yeah, exactly. This is. This is
I think they might have just used the cover sheet and not like the whole set. I'm gonna look.
This guy, Lynch. Yeah, but
Oh, sure, be my guest.
Yes. You have to go around. That's a good idea.
You're welcome.
So, Sue, you doing anything for the 4th? You out on your boat on the 4th, or?
Yeah. So we'll keep our boat in that.
Oh, okay.
of this section of Crossways. As I said, it's a mix of 1 and 2 acre lots. More as you go, the 2 acre lots are primarily in the northerly portion. However, we're gonna have 250 feet of actual road frontage, which is more comparable to the larger 2 acre lots up the street. But there are some 2 acre lots up here, but they're narrow. So any of these lots that are 2 acres, and you say, well, they can also subdivide if we set a precedent, they'd have to come back here. None of them actually have the frontage, that actual street frontage that the applicant enjoys on this section of Crossway. I want to wrap up. What else did we, property values. In terms of what this new home is proposed to sell at, well, I did a survey of newer, larger homes in this section of High Farms, 1 acre plus, and I would gather that a new home here would sell at a minimum of, for new construction, would around $3 million. I studied this section within a half-mile radius within the Glen Head North Shore School District, not including the villages of Old Brookville. And the median value over the last 3 years in this section is 1.5, and the average sale price, I believe, is 1.7. Median is 1.5, and average sale price is 1.85. Again, this will have conservatively a sale price, should it be constructed as planned, at least $3 million. So certainly it's not going to impact property values. The design of it, again, as Ms. Simoncic pointed out, we're 30 deep. We flipped the setback, so the 20-foot is up against the applicant's parcel A, parcel 1. So we have a 30-foot setback for the building envelope. These homes up to the south on Wedgewood, we studied the surveys on those properties. They all have roughly a 100-foot setback. So the distance between those homes and the building envelope is roughly 130 feet. And I know this comes up often. If the variance were denied, what could be done here? Given the 2 acres here, we could still build within actually 20 feet of the property line to the south. We could put up a 10 to 12,000 square foot home, which certainly would be out of keeping with the character, whereas this new home is going to be in keeping with the newer homes that have been built in this section of Glen Head, which includes the rebuilt or new home diagonally opposite to the south west on Wedgewood Court. So overall, just to sum up, I don't feel that the request is substantial. Again, if you look at the frontage of the parcel, the only area we're seeking relief for is in that center section. Again, we have 253 feet of actual road frontage. So, given the existing screening as well as the area that is deficient is within the center section of the property, I don't feel it's a substantial relief sought in this particular application. Again, also considering the existing screening, the substantial screening that exists, the placement of the home, et cetera. Certainly from a property value standpoint, it's not an argument. I mean, this is going to be a home that will only help to raise median and average sale prices in the area. And again, as far as pattern of development, again, this area is mixed as you go further south. They're 1 acre lots, of which the subject abuts 4 lots of 1 acre. There are some larger lots up here of 2 acres, but again, other than the 2 corner ones, they'd have to come back here as well for relief from this board, and none of them have the actual street frontage that the proposed lot 2 would be. So that's my report, and I can answer any questions if the board may have any.
Mr. Girardi, you have some questions?
I have one, but he answered.
No.
Thank you.
You did a good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming down.
You're welcome.
Ms. Simoncic.
I know there are neighbors that would like to speak, so I will defer my conclusion till after we hear from them.
Anybody who wishes to be heard on this application, please come forward and be sworn in. And I just ask that you don't repeat what the other one just said. If you can just say, I agree, and not repeat everything over again, if it's the same reason. So, your name, sir?
My name's Lloyd Nadell. I'm an attorney, 170 Old Country Road, Mineola. We would like to, I'm also a neighbor. I'm not here just as an attorney. We're here to oppose the variance. I would like Agatha Nadell, my wife, to speak first. Then Mr. Palmieri, another neighbor, can speak. I have a letter to read to the court by Mr. Bianco, another neighbor, who unfortunately had a medical emergency tonight with a grandchild, and then I would like to be heard.
Sure.
So I'd like Mrs. Nadell to speak first.
Props to truth during these proceedings.
I do.
Thank you, and your name and address.
My name's Agatha Nadell, and I live at 10 Wedgewood Court, Glen Head, New York.
Thank
Can
you so much.
hear me okay?
Yep,
Okay.
good. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to come and express our opinions tonight. It is said that life can change in an instant. Well, that is exactly what happened when I received a certified letter last week regarding the property directly behind my home. I was shocked and saddened to learn that an oversized house was going to be built on my neighbor's adjacent lot, which I was specifically told when I was considering buying my house by the realtor who did also build many of the houses in the area at the time in the 70s, that this lot could not be built on. Could not be built on because it was too narrow in the front, and the homes on Crossway were 2-acre zoning. That is almost an exact quote of what he told me repeatedly, myself and my husband. Was this a lie? Aren't the realtors by law supposed to disclose the truth? Now, after living for 20...
I'm sorry, never.
What, they're not? Okay.
they are.
Well,
But
if he was
don't.
still
They don't.
practicing, I'd sue him. But anyway, now after 29 years living at Wedgewood Court and putting tens of thousands of dollars into my home, it's going to look like a servant's quarters. That's essentially what it's going to be. $2 million neighborhood, look like servant's quarters. One of the main reasons my husband and I purchased our house was that it was a beautiful, unique area where the house sizes were appropriate to the lot frontage and approximately uniform in size, and that it would be an area where there wouldn't be McMansions. There wouldn't be knockdowns because there's no starter homes in the area, okay? So we looked for a very long time to find this unique type of area. And I just wanted to mention something with regards to screening. As far as I know, screening is only good in the summertime. In the winter and in the spring, I can see directly to Mr. Chaputtle's existing house. So there is no screening, okay? If you allow me to put a 32-foot fence, then there'll be some screening. The fact that the Chaputtles did not communicate with us or the other affected neighbors earlier on is quite disappointing. My family and others would have liked to have had the opportunity to purchase that lot, expand our properties, and not, I repeat, not build on it. A 5,000-plus square foot house on approximately, now it's saying 29 feet high, on a narrow lot is a monument. It's not a home, it's a monument, and it's going to destroy the character of the neighborhood. It would not fit in with any of the houses on Crossway, the existing houses, and it's going to look like a mistake. What magnifies this mistake is that it would be an eyesore to the entrance of Wedgewood Court. A house of this proposed magnitude would fit in better, say, the Brookvilles, Oyster Bay Cove, Muttontown, where the 2-acre plus zoning, where there's 2-acre plus zoning. Again, not on a narrow front 1-acre lot. Further, what would make more sense and be more aesthetically pleasing to the neighborhood, and I'm sure most people would agree, is that would be to knock down the existing house, build one house with appropriate square footage and height to the existing houses on Crossway, centered on the 2 lots. However, what I'm going to tell you what my gut tells me, the real plan here is to eventually demolish the existing house and put another McMansion next to it. So then there will be 2 McMansions, looking like a mistake and an eyesore going into Wedgewood Court. I vehemently oppose this variance to put this McMansion on the narrow fronted lot. I pay a premium in taxes. We work very hard to pay these high taxes, and I don't want to feel like I'm starting to live in a borough. Your actions will have a direct consequence on many people's lives. It's not just a stamp on paper. As the final decision is being made, I hope that all of you will pause.
please pause and put yourself in mine, my husband's, and the other affected neighbors' positions. Would you like this done to your family or a family member in your neighborhood? I think not. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Next.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vito Palmieri. I'm the owner of the property right behind the two lots, the existing house and the vacant lot. I live at 1 Beaver Court in Glen Head.
Are you an attorney?
I'm an attorney as well.
Thank you so much for
but
clarifying.
I'm here more as a neighbor than an attorney. But the reality is this, I was born and raised in Queens. And when I came out to Long Island in 1991, one of the things that attracted me was much to what Agatha just said, is that we have land, we have no neighbors. I used to have neighbors next door looking out the window and they could see into my house in Queens. I mean, the point of us being where we are is that we paid these taxes and we live in these neighborhoods because we want the privacy and we want the benefit of having the land. It's not that if I owned that property, I would want to develop it too. I don't blame them for what they want to do. I just asked this board to do what Agatha just said. Let's consider that we don't want to be Queens. I know the trend right now in Levittown, they're making the same kind of decisions. We don't need McMansions. We don't need situations where people's privacy is being taken away because of profit. So I just ask that if you're going to do this, do it with reason as far as the size of the property. And I know they say it's only 5,000 living gross square footage, but there's another 1,300 or 1,400 for a garage, which makes it over 6,000 square feet. And I don't think any of the houses in our area that are on 1 acre are more than 4,000 square feet, I think. So this would be far in greater, and I'm saying 4,000 with the garage. So these would be greater than that. So given all of those considerations, again, I'm not here to say I'm opposing that they build something. I'm just asking the board to keep in mind that they should build something that's conducive with what the neighborhood is and what the houses that are there existing.
Can I ask, have you seen the elevations to the house?
Yes, my house is lower than their house. My house is only, I think, 24 feet or 25 feet, something like that. And their house would be almost 30 feet. So from their house
But
to...
you do know that the height in the town of Oyster Bay, they're meeting the height requirement.
I understand that,
Okay.
but it's more about the fact of what Agatha said. The property's very narrow. If you've been there, you'll see,
I wasn't.
compared to the other properties, that property is narrow. So when you put a 6,000 square foot property in that lot, it looks like you're putting 10 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound bag. You know, that's the gist of it. And it's kind of like when you go through Queens and you see the McMansions with the, 3,000 square foot house on a 40 by 100 lot. It just doesn't work. The aesthetics don't work. So I would just ask you to keep that in mind when you make your decisions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bianco, the resident of 12, or the owner of 12 Wedgewood Court, couldn't make it tonight due to a medical emergency with his granddaughter. He did provide me with a letter that I'd like to read and submit to the board for consideration. It says, to the Town of Oyster Bay Zoning Board of Appeals, opposition to variance application, dear members of the zoning board. We, William and Lisa Bianco, residents of 12 Wedgewood Court, Glen Head, respectfully submit this letter in strong opposition to the variance application for the proposed construction on the subdivided lot at 14 Crossway. The applicant seeks approval to build a new dwelling on a newly created parcel that fails to meet the minimum lot requirement width of 125 feet, offering 103 feet at its narrowest point. This is a significant deviation from the zoning code and would establish a troubling precedent for our neighborhood. Although the original parcel is 1.98 acres, and that's from the tax map, as set forth on the tax map, the subdivision into 1 acre lots is only possible by disregarding the width requirement. Granting this variance would effectively invite other owners of 2 acre lots on the same block, of which there are several, to pursue similar subdivisions, resulting in increased density, loss of open space, and a fundamental change to the character of our community, and altering the established development pattern in the area. Additionally, the proposed home is approximately 6,400 square feet. And by the way, that's on the architect's plans, which I'm sure you have. bold letters, 6,400 square feet, far larger than the typical 4,500 square foot and below homes in the surrounding area. The scale of the structure combined with the reduced lot width would create a visually imposing presence and diminish the sense of space that the zoning code is designed to protect. From our property, the rear of the new lot is directly visible. The plans submitted do not include mature trees or screening or mitigate the impact on neighboring sight lines. This omission would result in substantial visual intrusion into our backyard and a diminished quality of life. When I first purchased my home, we were told that the lot behind my house was not a, quote, buildable, end quote, lot, and that we would enjoy having the additional privacy afforded by that lot. In fact, I had approached the owner of that lot, an adjacent house, approximately 25 years ago, inquiring as to whether he would consider selling the lot so that I could expand my yard. He indicated that he would never sell because he enjoyed the, quote, buffer, end quote, from the other houses. The same buffer he desired while he resided there, he now wishes to monetarily capitalize on now that he no longer resides there. The owner applicant knew the lot size and zoning requirements when he initially purchased, so any hardship that may result by a denial of the variance application was self-created. Further, maximizing profit is not a legal hardship. The zoning code exists to preserve the character and spacing and environmental balance of our neighborhood. Approving a variance of this magnitude would undermine those goals and open the door to further subdivision pressures. For these reasons, we respectfully urge the board to deny the requested variance. Thank you for your consideration. It's signed by William and Lisa Bianco, 12 Wedgewood Court, Glen Head.
Thank you, sir.
I also spoke to two other neighbors who are not present today, Mr. and Mrs.
You can't speak for them, sir. You can't even
No.
put that on the record. Please don't.
I'm not speaking for them. I'm just saying, Dr. and Mrs. Schreiber, who are not here because they are out of town, and James Albanese was here briefly, but left. So all the neighbors are concerned about this project. I agree with my wife Agatha 100%. We started to look for a house in Glen Head shortly after we got pregnant with our second child. She grew up in Glen Head, I grew up in Greenvale. We both went to Glen Head and North Shore schools. We wanted our children to have the same type of experience and education that we did. They both excelled academically and athletically. It took my wife and I about 1 year to find our house at 10 Wedgewood. This neighborhood, and I'm sure you do appreciate this, is very unique. In our area, Glen Head, and in most of the town of Oyster Bay, there's very little inventory between roughly 22,000 square foot homes on quarter acres and 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 square foot homes on multiple acres, such as in the Brookvilles and so on. Very few neighborhoods like ours. When we first saw Crossway, when we first saw the house, we turned off High Farms, went southbound on Crossway, and you can see it on this map. Crossway, on the corner of Crossway and High Farms, there are two lots that are close to 3 acres with the estate homes, quote unquote, that Mr. Lynch referred to. As you go down Crossway, there are 8 other houses. Every other one is on 2 acres. I know the town is saying this is 1 acre zoning. I always thought
It is 1 acre zoning.
it was 2.
It's 1A.
We were always told it was 2, and regardless of what the zoning is, every one of those houses is 2 acres, is on 2 acres. Every one of those houses is centered on the lot. Every one of those houses is about 3,500 to 4,000 square feet. The frontages coming down Crossway are between 148 feet to 220 feet. They're not 103 feet. The abutting street, Wedgewood Court, which is our street, is all 1 acre lots. All the houses are built in the center of the frontages, and they also have similar frontages. They range from 192 feet to 210 feet. They all have 3,500, 4,000 square foot homes. Most of the homes are or I think all the homes, in fact, except the new one referred to on the other corner, they're about 20 feet high. They were built in the 70s, and they're about 20 feet high. Many of those houses have turned over since they were built, and all of the other homeowners on the entire Wedgewood Court and on Crossway have kept within the characteristics of the neighborhood. The houses are all centered. The houses are all about 20 feet high. The houses are all about 35 to 4,000 square feet. This house will stand out because it's 30 feet high, it's 6,400 square feet, and it's on a narrow lot. So, as we know, the application is to construct that type of house on a strip of land that is 22 feet less than the minimum required by the same zoning code that sets up the sizes of the lot. The 103-foot width is between 50 and 100% narrower than every other house on Crossway and every other house on Wedgewood Court. I cannot fathom anything much more out of character with the surrounding neighborhood than that. New York State Town Law, Section 267B, with which I am certain you are all familiar, looks at 5 factors in determining whether a variance should be granted. Also, reading that area of the law, which I think you are also all familiar with, there is it seems to be the legislative intent that variances should only be granted in hardship cases, not in cases where somebody's seeking to maximize the value of their property. Number 1, 267B, number 1, whether an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created. It is my opinion, as well as my neighbors, that it will be created. This house is 10 feet higher than any other house. It's going to be shoehorned into a narrow 1 acre lot. This lot, as I just indicated, is 1/2 to 3/4 as wide as 40 other lots in the surrounding area. If a variance is granted, as Mr. Palmieri touched on, a precedent, and Mr. Bianco, a precedent will be set. What's going to stop every other homeowner on Crossway from making an application to subdivide their lot, knock down their 1970s house, and build 2 McMansions? It's going to totally change the character of the neighborhood. Now, I want to submit an exhibit of a street scene of Marion Street in Greenville. Not related to this, but I want to make an example. I grew up on Marion Street in Greenville, in the Oyster Bay town. Marion Street is divided in half. The north half is Oyster Bay, the south half is North Hempstead. Some point while I was living there, a builder brought an application to subdivide a lot and built that tiny little house. It's totally out of character with the other houses in the neighborhood. Those are 1/4 acre lots. Those are probably 1,800 square feet houses. He built something that was like 800 square feet on that narrow lot. I don't know how wide it is. Totally out of character with the neighborhood. And I remember growing up, all the neighbors complaining about it. Then there's the number 2 in section in the section of the law 267B. Number 2.
Please try again.
Can the applicant do something in another way not to require the variance. If he in fact has 2 acres, I'm sure that there is a way he can figure out how to do something in a different way to not have a 103-foot wide lot with this huge house that is out of character. Number 3 is substantial variance, and I think this is the key here. I've been sitting here all night, as you all have, and you're hearing people going for variances of a foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 5% of the property, whatever. This is a variance seeking a reduction from 125 feet to 103 feet. That's 22 feet. That is 17.6% of a variance. That is substantial. It's not 5, 10, or even 15%. It's 17.6%. Let me just give you an example. I am 6 feet tall. I think I'm as tall or virtually as tall as anyone who's been in this room tonight. If I reduce my height by 18%, slightly over 17.6, I'm going to be 4 feet 11 inches. I would by far be the shortest person in this room. My height would go from 72 inches to 59 inches. I think you would agree with me that's pretty substantial. Number 4, environmental impact. That's de minimis. The neighborhood will show 3 or 4 additional cars coming in and out. That's not a big deal. But if everyone else in Crossway decided to do the same thing, you're not going to have 3 or 4 more cars coming in and out. You're going to have 30 or 40 more cars coming in and out of this neighborhood. That's substantial. The last one, which I know is the least important, but this is a self-created difficulty. They're seeking a variance because of a condition they created, like most applications here. There's no medical, physical, or other hardship for this to occur. The original owner of the house, and I know he's not involved, apparently it's his son who's the applicant, but the original owner of the house, Mr. Shabuttle, has not lived in that house. I'm not even sure he's alive. Has not lived in the house for 5 years. Mr. Shabuttle, who I think is the applicant, comes over to maintain the property. As far as I'm aware, he doesn't live in the house. And there's another sibling, I don't think she lives in the house. So the house has literally been empty, as far as I can tell, for a substantial period of time. It would appear what they're doing is not to live in the house or improve their property or whatever. It appears they're doing it to maximize profit on the house. They're likely, if they haven't entered into a contract already, to sell the house, and they're looking to sell 2 houses instead of 1 house. What's significant, I think, is the folks may not have any skin in the game. They're not going to care what the neighborhood what the house looks like in the neighborhood, because they're not going to live there. Just my thought, I could be wrong. Now, our political leaders promise that they will preserve our suburban lifestyle. In fact, interestingly, in the mail today, I got a flyer from the town of Oyster Bay. And this is similar to what Mr. Palmieri was saying. On page 2, the first article, opposing Albany's efforts to override local zoning law. I know we're not talking the zoning law here, but the quote from Councilwoman Mayer as part of opposing this effort is, "This is not about thoughtful redevelopment, it's forced density," said Councilwoman Mayer. "This proposal overrides local zoning, eliminates community input, and hands over decision-making power to Albany." Why are our local leaders, local politicians opposing this? Because as Mr. Palmieri said, we don't want this to look like Queens. And that's what might open the door allowing this variance, to have this, to make this area look like Queens. I'd like to offer it into evidence, so to speak, but I saw there was a stack of them outside, so you've probably seen it. But we're not looking to live in Queens as the previous speaker said, we pay substantial taxes here not to do that. Finally, according to the tax map, I know it's not the survey, this is 1.98 acres, so I don't know if there can even be a lot that's legal according to the zoning law on this property. Just to show a couple of items you probably have, this is the proposed, I'm sure you have this, the proposed subdivision. This is what I will be facing. I'd like to offer this, you probably have it also. This is what I will be facing when I look out my back window.
Mr. Nadel, I've seen these plans, and just out of respect for the rest of the people in the audience who haven't gotten up yet, can we wrap this up soon?
Yeah, I'm almost done.
You've spoken quite a long time.
I'm almost done. I'm trying to compete with Mr. Lynch. This is what I see the back of my house now when I look out the back window. That's what I'm gonna see if this house is approved and built. Very important, they talked about screening. Screening is only for the summer. All these bushes, all these trees, the leaves go away come October, November, and don't come back till March. You can see from that picture, which is from my back window facing the current house, which is on the far side of the lot, you can see the brownish color roof through it. Believe me, when those leaves come down, you see the entire house, and that's a couple of 100 feet away. So, again, I would ask that, you turn down this variance.
Thank you.
There's a lot for me to cover, so indulge me, please.
Absolutely.
First, I'm gonna, forced density. This is forced density, and we're creating queens. I don't know how anybody can argue with a straight face that creating a 1-acre parcel with a gorgeous, brand-new colonial brick home that will sell for $3 million, as testified to by the real estate expert, that is the creation of queens. That is clearly the antithesis of creating queens in this neighborhood. This is a beautiful neighborhood, and we are creating a beautiful home that will only increase the values of the properties in the neighborhood. So I just wanted to start with that. And working my way back, there are a couple of misstatements of fact just in terms of what we are proposing. Again, the house is not 6,400 square feet. That was stated by one of the neighbors. It's not 6,400 square feet. The gross floor area is 5,882. The garage was quoted as being over 900 square feet. It's 740 square feet on grade. The property itself is 2 acres. That's shown on the survey that was submitted. We are creating 2 1-acre parcels. It's not 1.8 acres, which is shown on the tax map, which is clearly not consistent with the actual survey of the property. The survey does depict a 2-acre parcel, so we're creating 2 1-acre lots. This property, as you indicated, and we've stated throughout the testimony, we're in a 1-acre zoning district. There is opportunity to subdivide and create a fully compliant 1-acre parcel. Going back, we've all heard, McMansion conversations. This is a McMansion. The house is not oversized. Again, the house itself fully complies with every dimensional requirement in the town code. It meets the setback requirements. It meets the lot coverage requirements. We're not shoehorning a house in here. We meet all those requirements. The issue here is a single variance for lot width. That's it. It is not a substantial variance, and as the board, he cited the statute, which is the balancing test. The test today is not a hardship. That was thrown out when Town Law 267B was adopted in 1992. That we have not required an applicant to demonstrate a hardship since that time. The standard is a balancing test, essentially balancing the benefit to the applicant versus the burden to the community. And in this case, we would submit to the board that the benefit clearly outweighs any burden, which I have not heard any announced at all on the record. The benefit to the applicant is the ability to fully utilize his 2-acre parcel in a 1-acre zoning district. He has excess land. His property is unique, and I agree the area is unique as well, but his property is situated such that he has a double lot, side-by-side lot. All the other homes in the area, the 1 acre that they have excess is in the back of the property, so they don't have the opportunity to subdivide in this manner. And as I explained during my presentation, this house was developed with the intent to subdivide in the future, and that's why the house was situated further north. All the other homes are in the center of the parcels. They can't do what we're proposing to do, and this is not going to open up the floodgates to further applications. It's not going to set a precedent, and we actually have more width than those other homes that was described by Mr. Lynch. So we showed how this is not going to set a precedent. There may be homes on the tax map that you will see there's a 4-acre lot that's further away. Sure, they're in a 1-acre zone. They have the right to subdivide. They could probably do it as of right. They could probably create 4 lots. That you can't compare to this parcel. We are truly unique. So I would submit that to the board as well. With respect to feasible alternatives, we cannot, there are no alternatives to being able to build a house on this property. We can't acquire the additional width. We can't take it from the existing home, otherwise we'd render that home non-conforming as well. So this truly is the only alternative for the applicant to get the benefit of utilizing a 2-acre parcel in a 1-acre zone. Regarding character, you've heard a lot about the character of the neighborhood. This clearly will not affect the character of the neighborhood. And again, just going back to the precedent, every application gets evaluated in its own, like every property is different. This property is unique. And again, it's interesting when I heard the neighbor say he approached the applicant's father years ago to buy the lot. And he didn't say the whole property, they just want to buy the open parkland. How could he buy the lot if he didn't think it was subdividable, right? And again, Mr. Lynch described the property as parkland. I think the problem here is that the neighbors have gotten used to seeing an open lot, right? It looks like a parkland, but it's not a parkland. It's not a town lot. It's a private lot owned by a private applicant, by a private owner. And they have the right to come and develop their property with only one variance to be granted from this board. Just want to make sure I addressed all the comments. Finally, the fifth factor that the board has to look at is the self-created hardship. That is just one factor, and even if the hardship was deemed self-created by this board, which it is not, that would not be dispositive. The case law on these matters with the area variances specifically provides that a self-created hardship is not dispositive on an application. And we would submit to the board that looking at the totality of the circumstances, it's one variance, it's not multiple variances, it's not shoehorning a house. This house fully complies with the zoning code other than the width, and we demonstrated how it's only non-compliant for a small portion of the property. It's not even the entire lot that doesn't comply. It's half the lot that doesn't comply. And also, again, the landscaping. And we did offer, and we will maintain, if the board sees fit that they would want a condition of the approval, that we infill in some of the landscaping. We feel it's very robust, and I believe the chairwoman went out to the property. There is significant landscaping going around the entire perimeter of this property, but the applicant was willing. We did offer it to the neighbors in advance of the meeting, but we would submit to the board. We will be willing to infill if the board deemed appropriate, and we would do that. Finally, I just wanted to submit for the record copies of all of the surveys and COs for the properties on Wedgewood Court, on Mr. Nadell's property. As Mr. Lynch had indicated, All of the properties on Wedgewood Court have approximately a 100-foot rear yard setback to the property line, and then there's an additional 31 feet to the house. So there's substantial setbacks. There's not going to be any imposition on these properties and their privacy. They're so far apart that no one's going to be able to tell, especially given the landscaping that currently exists. So that's 10 Wedgewood. I want to submit the CO and survey for 12 Wedgewood. And again, if we're talking McMansions, all these houses that I'm submitting to the board, they're all 5-bedroom homes as well. And that's what, post-COVID, people want larger homes, people want studies in their homes, people want home offices, people want ensuite bathrooms, and this is consistent with what you're seeing in new development. This is, which one did I give you? 12?
Sorry.
That's 12 Wedgewood.
This is 12.
12, and then here's 14. 14, I'll just give them all to you. And then one Beaver Court. And I would just point out with regard to one Beaver Court, which is Mr. Palmieri's home, his house is set back 100 feet from the property line. This is the rear property, the eastern property line. Our home is another 181 feet from the rear yard. So there's a 281-foot distance between the new home and his home. Clearly, no one's infringing on anybody's privacy, given the landscaping that's in the back, and we've submitted all the photos to show all the mature landscaping. So, in conclusion, I would submit to the board that this one variance will not alter the character of the neighborhood. It is not going to have any adverse impact on the environment, given that we comply, the house itself complies with all of the dimensional requirements. And I believe Mr. Lynch wants to address one thing, but we would submit that we would respectfully request that the board approve the one variance.
Thank you, Ms. Monson.
Thank you.
Again, just quickly, at the break, I wanted to submit this one sale, not sale, but property. As you know, Birchell Lane is directly opposite this property, and there's a house at 9 Birchell on an acre that was built in 2008, gross living area of 5221. Again, that's very similar to what we're proposing, and that's Nassau County assessment card. And I just wanted to clarify, I may have misspoke. The proposed lot frontage of the subject Lot 2 is 127 feet. When I said 253 feet of overall street frontage, that's of the overall parcel. And the other 2-acre parcels on Crossway, other than the 2 corner lots, they don't have that width of their 2 acres. So they would obviously have to come back to this board, but they actually are narrower than what we're proposing. And again, we're only in that center section where we're deficient in the 103 feet. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One quick question.
Ms. Monsick?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Lynch.
Pardon me.
Say that again about the front?
Yes,
So you got, the rear is 243.
Yes.
If you add in the public right of way, you really got probably the same thing on the front. It's aesthetics we're talking about. But what are the 2 frontages?
It's 127 feet,
It complies.
yeah,
On lot A?
on the frontage, because it's
Parcel 1 or parcel 2?
parcel 2. Parcel 1 is a fully conforming, that's where the existing home is.
Yeah. Both properties comply with the street frontage requirement. Parcel 1 has 125 feet, and the proposed parcel has 127.92 feet. So we fully comply with the street
So it
frontage.
narrows in the middle of the lot?
I'm sorry?
It narrows in the middle of the lot?
Yes, that's correct, as we showed in that exhibit that was prepared. It's strictly in the middle of the parcel where it doesn't comply. So for the first 45 some odd feet, we are in compliance. And then it doesn't comply, but then it slowly increases as you go back towards the rear of the property. And then it becomes fully compliant, which is another point, it's compliant in the rear, so. Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay. Mrs. Monsick, you stay. We have any other correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision.
Public hearing is closed, and the decision of the board will be forwarded to you by this office.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next is hearing 19, Appeal 26144, Brad and Michelle Barole.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not. Just leave.
What?
You know who I'm pointing to, you. I know, but they're making eye contact, and we're not having it. Just go.
Ashley, you'll be last. I have it on the desk, okay? Yep. Second call is.
The second, oh, is he, okay.
I don't know if I could follow that one, but,
Would you raise your right hand, sir?
yes,
Promise to tell the truth during these proceedings?
I do.
Name and address, please.
My name is Rich Lambert, and I'm representing Michelle and Brad Beryl. My address is 286 Route 109 in Farmingdale, and I am with the Platinum Group. Just sit here. According to the letter, requesting a variance for an existing shed on site that is, I guess, about 3 feet from one property line, about 2.5 from another. The shed was existing before the applicant bought the property, purchased the property. So the setback, I believe, is supposed to be 20 feet. That would put the shed in the middle of the yard. They only have 50 feet from the house to their back property line. So we are requesting that variance there. The next one is requesting a variance for, well, this application, it's a little bit tricky. So we had we're building a pool in the rear yard, and came up with a plan for, the pool patio was attached to the deck that was gonna be there, and some stairways leading out of the back of the house. So that required a variance, because everything was attached to each other. So so my setback became, I believe, 50 feet. So now that we've rectified that, we've revised the plans under a patio permit, which is P2603-0199, that we created space between the stairs coming down and the patios, so they're no longer attached to the main residence, creating my setback now of 20 feet instead of 50 feet. So it's not all one structure, it now becomes an accessory structure. So we believe that variance then goes away for the patio, because everything is then on grade and not raised more than 8 inches. The variance that will apply is for a deck that is on the back.
I'm confused.
Excuse me?
I don't see a patio on this variance. What are we talking, where's the patio coming from? Yeah, but you said before the patio,
Yeah, I have a letter here, notice of rejection letter. I don't know if this is the right letter. I have my scribble.
There's no patio, sir.
Okay.
Just a deck.
Okay.
You have a rear deck, 10 feet, that you're asking for?
Yes.
Okay, that's what you need to address.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. That's fine with me. What I said? Yeah, I was trying to explain the situation. So that's totally fine. So
me too. So how are we supposed to make a decision if we don't know what we're here for?
well, we are here for the deck, because the deck is on the opposite side of the pool, and it does not conform.
Okay.
So we are requesting a variance for this deck, because it is less than the 20 feet. I'm sorry?
50.
50 feet.
50 feet,
Required 50.
right.
They didn't do the paperwork.
So let me just interrupt. So where it says proposed lower patio, there's pool patio, lower patio, blah, we don't know, Mike, we don't need a variance for that. We're not-
It says it's filed separately now, so. The
Right.
plans say it's to be filed for separately, so I don't think it's under this application anymore. I think you filed another permit.
We filed the permit for
Then this maybe
the
never got
the patio and the pool, okay? And
Patio or the deck?
a regular hardscape flat work patio, okay?
It says patio to be filed for separately.
Yes.
Okay, so we're not dealing with the
We
patio
are not.
tonight. Let's move on, okay.
In my eyes, they kind of go hand in hand, but I understand we're here for the deck, so that's totally fine. So we're requesting the variance for the deck. That doesn't meet the requirement of 50 feet, which is on the back side of the pool. If I could show you, this is the letter that I have.
I just see at the bottom, it said it does say patio.
Yeah, patio was under a separate application.
What is, beyond the property line? Is another residence back there? What's back there? Behind,
Behind,
Behind
it's
the-
actually, it's the water tower.
okay.
So it's town
So
property.
it's town property, all right.
Yeah.
Because if you had a neighbor back there, that's close, so,
Yes, yeah.
all right.
There's,
Okay.
there's a neighbor off to the right, but he doesn't touch the property. It's only the water tower
Okay.
property. So those are the two variances that we are requesting.
Anybody have any questions?
No.
Correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision.
Public hearing is closed, and the decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office. Thank you.
Thank you.
And third call for hearing number 3, Appeal 26-132, Angelo Sedita at 58 Springdale Avenue, Massapequa.
Not tomorrow.
You okay? Everything all right?
I am, thank you, I apologize. I had a hearing at
No, that's all
Amityville
right.
at the same time, and
Fine.
just my luck, it was an hour of me standing in front of the board, so. But I got it approved, so I'll take the win.
All right, you promise
Okay.
to tell the truth during these proceedings?
I do.
Name and
Is
address.
this number 3?
Yeah.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Ashley Lowe Cunice from Lowdown Expediting. My address is located at 131 Berkeley Place in Massapequa, New York. I am here this evening on behalf of my client, Angelo Sedita, who is the owner and occupant of the subject property located at 58 Springdale Avenue in Massapequa, New York. I am here this evening as a result of an application filed with the building department for a proposed second-story addition. This property is located in an R110 zone and has a lot size of 8,000 square feet, so it is a substandard lot for its zoning. The proposed second-story addition with cantilevers and waterfall do not have the minimum required side yard setback of 10 feet, having a proposed side yard setback of 5.5 feet to the two-story addition, for which relief of 4.5 feet is being requested, and a 2-foot setback to the waterfall, for which we are requesting relief of 8 feet. Additionally, the proposed second story does not have the minimum required side yard aggregate of 25 feet, having an aggregate of 13.7 feet, for which we are requesting relief of 11.3 feet. I would like to note that this is an existing condition for the side yard for the second story addition and for the aggregate. They are both not going to be made any less compliant. The second story addition is going directly above the existing 1 story of the dwelling. Lastly, the proposed second-story addition with cantilevers and front porch exceed the maximum building coverage of 20%, having a proposed building coverage of 24.36%, for which we are requesting relief of 4.36%. I would like to mention that although the AC unit does not require any relief, it will be adequately screened per code. Those are our only requests this evening. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I don't have any questions. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't.
Correspondence?
Nassau County Planning Commission recommends local determination.
Motion?
Decision.
Public hearing's closed. Decision of the board will be forwarded to you by our office.
Thank you, and Thank you for waiting. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thank you for
As long as you're okay.
Yeah.
Look, they're still out there.
Yeah.
Just give me 1 second, all right? She started with them. They were looking at each other, and she went like this. And I could see. And I just said, don't do it. That lady right there.
The one with the white hair?
She's the homeowner. And they're feuding. And I didn't want
Obviously,
and
yeah.
I didn't want that to
Yeah.
happen in here.
She's out there, yeah, I saw.
Who thought that? Ashley? I know.
I know.
Because I had them up to here.
Yeah,
Atticus Finch.
You know, sometimes I get so upset with people who, it's like, this is a major, major problem. in
Oh,
their
she's
life.
gonna be
I mean,
destroyed.
There are kids
First
who
world
are
problems, I
dying.
think.
There are kids who have leukemia. There are veterans coming home with no legs. And I'm gonna lose my view. I mean, it's just,
She should come down to Farmingdale.
no, but I mean,
She
I
would
mean,
just
people
love it.
are, I can understand, but it,
Five.
Let me get
I'll
my-
move it.
I'll second.
okay.
Lisa will second. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 2, appeal number 26-98. Oh, is this the, yeah,
Yeah, I'll second it.
that's Flo and Lois.
Yeah.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed, ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 3, appeal number 26-132.
I'll move it, that's fine.
Lois, Flo, all in favor, aye. Any opposed, ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 4, appeal number 26-156.
I'm fine with that too, I'll move that.
Lois will move that, I'll second it, all in favor, aye. Any opposed, ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 5, appeal number 26-94.
I'll move it. Okay.
That's gonna be Flo
A
and
second.
Kathy. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 6, appeal number 26-125.
I'll move it.
That's gonna be a 2-piece bath. Why did I write that? Where-
Oh, for the base,
No, I
no,
must have
wrong.
wrote it on the wrong one.
yeah, wrong
No, they have
Okay,
a- they
so
have a
Kathy-
cellar entrance, outside cellar entrance.
They do.
Yeah, half-finished
All right, well,
basement with,
I can't.
no bathroom, it says.
Yeah,
so-
no,
But
it's fine.
that's separate paper.
Kathy, you wanna move it?
I will.
I'll second it. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 7, appeal number 26-173.
This is, okay, 2 stories.
We don't have a problem with it, because nobody
I'm gonna
remembers
move
it, so Kathy's gonna move it.
I don't care.
And Lisa?
Yes.
All in favor, aye. Any opposed, ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 8, appeal number 26-90. This wasn't a problem. I'll move this.
I'll
3
second
letters
that.
of consent. Rita Wren,
Lois, all in favor, aye. Any opposed, ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 9, appeal number 26-100.
Two window wells.
oh, the 2 window wells.
Yeah,
She didn't know.
they're existing. Well, I
But
wanna
they
make them
said
take
they're
that out.
egress windows.
I could use that.
So if there's 2 people down there, they both can get out.
I mean, they're existing. If he were proposing them, then I'd say, well,
Right.
you're making a space for a basement stairs, but they're there. So
Okay.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 10, appeal number 26-40.
So this is 6'11" basement
Well, this
ceiling.
was the proposed cellar entrance.
Yeah, they have 6 feet.
No, they're not getting the cellar entrance.
Right.
No cellar, I say, I move to deny B.
Deny.
I'll second it.
We're denying B,
Right.
and that's everybody, and the new dwelling is fine.
Right.
I'm gonna move it.
Second.
Flo will second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 11, appeal number 26-93.
I'll second.
Flo and Lisa, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 12, appeal number 26-99. I'll move this.
Second.
So Rita and Kathy, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 13, appeal number 26-101. This was really no problem. Flo, I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 14, appeal number 26-102.
Kendrick addition. The
It's an
building.
existing vestibule.
So
It's been
it's
there for a long
currently
time.
open, but they want to enclose it?
Suspension of building permit.
I don't think it's open.
Second story.
Did anybody look
was
at it?
built.
You
On
looked
the
at it?
left side of the house?
On the left side of the house.
Yeah,
It
it was
says
like just
it's
an
open.
overhang. Yeah, it was just an overhang, but he was talking about enclosing it.
Here he was talking about the closing, like he's gonna do it? Well,
Driveway was widened and side vestibule was added.
I'm gonna move it to approve it.
Okay,
Anybody wanna second it?
I'll second.
Flo will second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 15, appeal number 26-174.
What? What? Wait a second. They had 2 letters of consent. Oh my God.
I'll move it.
That's one of these nights.
I'll second.
Is it a full
Lisa
moon?
will second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, so moved. I can't even read my own writing here. Hearing number 16, appeal number 26-92. No, he offered not to further enclose the front roof over.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'll move it.
I'll second.
Lois will second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 17, appeal number 26-97.
So we're gonna condition this to, for a 2-piece bathroom.
Yeah, they didn't seem too happy about that, but
And he's not doing the height on the pool house.
no height on the pool house, right?
He crossed that, yeah.
All right, so I'll move it.
I'll second.
I'm gonna put height to comply
Yep.
and 2-piece bath, is that right?
Yep.
Yes, the condition will be 2-piece.
And Kathy, you gonna move, you
I'll
gonna second
second
it? So it's Rita and Kathy. All in
Okay.
favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, so moved. Hearing number 18,
I will move.
and I'm gonna second it.
Wow.
Yeah.
All in favor? Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Ayes have it, so moved.
Hey.
I mean, I do think, I just want to put a little bit on the record here with this, that I believe that this house is very much, will be in character with that community. I saw it myself, and I think that the neighbors who are opposed to it, I don't see their side. I just don't see it, so.
Ms. Simonek said they got used to looking at the open
Yeah.
space,
Yeah.
and that's what they
It's like
they
after,
want, but it's
after
not theirs.
Sandy, all those
Yeah.
people had waterfront views, right?
Yeah, right.
And then we started one by one taking them away. Hearing number 19, appeal number 26-144.
I'll move it.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Lisa will second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, so moved.
First one is 25-492, Jonathan Hauser.
You weren't here for this.
Put on the record that night, he was asking for gross floor area, or that's on rejection, he thought it was wrong. It was wrong. The building department erroneously thought there was a basement.
Oh.
And counted basement, into it, there was no basement. You didn't even need that. So
Wow.
everything else you didn't have a problem with.
Okay.
Kathy was asking for that.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Who is it?
Lisa.
Lisa? And the next one, this was Mr. Schumacher's, this is 25-456. It was that big garage, if you remember, that they had built a long time ago, and he asked if he could revise it before you made a decision.
There was a question
So there
about
was a
an
bathroom
apartment or
and-
something
Is
in
this
it.
one where there was people living in there, people said?
Yes.
So if you see everything in bold, they removed all that. The only thing they're asking for now is A, because the structure is there, and everything else that they were asking for before they removed. Totally whatever you think.
Okay.
And then when we okay, I think move everything back in.
Oh, Flo, ye of little faith. I have so much faith in humanity, I look both ways before I cross a one-way street. I'll move it.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, so moved.
Good night.
So I'm not gonna be here at the next meeting, guys.
I'll be here, I'll be here.
No.